That's the gate.
Oh my God!
It is Slopestyle time, my friends. Where are we? This is the World Tour, so we bring this tour all over the world. We're hanging out in BC, the birthplace of the Crankworx festivals. We're not in Whistler this year. That would be pretty tough during the pandemic era, but we've come up with something that's even more fun. We're on a bike park road trip. 3 stops. We started out at Sun Peaks Resort near Kamloops, BC. Then we rolled things over to Kicking Horse, close to Golden, BC. And now we find ourselves on the final stop of 3 in our Crankworx BC road trip. This is SilverStar Mountain Resort, close to Vernon, BC. This is all stop 2 of the Crankworx World Tour. We, of course, started things off in Innsbruck, Austria a few months ago. And this is what BC looks like in September. Fall time, all time here. Wet dirt, really good for trail riding, and really good for a slopestyle competition on a brand new course. We're lucking out with weather today. It's been a little bit too wet for the past few days, but the riders have been dropping top to bottom course runs all morning and all day yesterday, and the stage is set. 14 of the best slopestyle riders in the world. I'm your host. My name's Cam McCall, and I'm going to be hanging out with my buddy here, Alan Cook. Alan, thanks for joining us. This is going to be an insane slopestyle contest, and we're about a few minutes away from dropping our first riders.
Absolutely, Cam. Thanks for having me. You know, I couldn't be more stoked to be here out at Sun Peaks. You know, the sun's not out, but the peaks are definitely high. These jumps are looking amazing. Brett and the crew did an amazing job on the track, and I've been watching practice all day, and you know, the conditions are playing a little bit in there, but you know, the riders are really pushing through it, and you can tell that today's going to be a good contest. They've got what they need to make the magic happen.
They do, and they've worked so hard to get here. It's only 14 of the best riders in the world, and this is who we have right here. We're going to start things off with a rider who is in his rookie appearance on the Crankworx Slopestyle World Tour, Griffin Paulson.
Yeah, definitely cool to see Griffin come out here. You know, he's the lone Canadian in the roster here, so he's going to be out here representing as hard as he can, that's for sure. You know, coming down the list, we got Thomas Stead from Great Britain, Lucas Knopf. You want to keep reading there? We got Alex Alenko, Thomas Genon. That's someone I'm definitely stoked to see those runs.
Moral of the story, we have 3 riders who have won a Crankworx Slopestyle. We have 8 riders who have been on the podium, and we got 1 rider who's trying to make it 5 Slopestyle wins in a row. And that's a historical feat right now. We're at 4 wins in a row for Emil Johansson, which is the record. And he's looking to just increase that record. This is a streak like we've never seen in slopestyle before.
Yeah, Emil, he finds himself kind of, you know, chasing a streak within a streak, right? You know, he's coming off of the first stop winning there in Innsbruck, but also he's won the last 4. So he's got 2 streaks going right now. He's got the momentum. He's got the confidence. He was the first one out here today. He's definitely ready for this event.
Another way to put it is he hasn't lost since he started winning. Of course, that Joyride win in 2019, he kept it rolling to start off that crazy season of 2020, the season that almost didn't happen, but the crew in Innsbruck and our Crankworx crew was able to make it happen 2020 in Innsbruck. He won that. He won Innsbruck just 4 months ago when we had the 2021 version, and it's going to be really interesting to see if he can put together another winning run here today and keep the streak alive, but also just increase that record that we've never seen before. And we're all trying to guess what's going to happen. It's a tough one, but it's kind of fun to be able to have a platform for making your predictions live. We've got the Crankworx World Tour Medal Predictor on Red Bull TV. You roll over and start choosing who you think is going to get the bronze, the silver, the gold. There's also some really fun survey questions, some trivia questions, and you can earn points. Try to beat me. I think I've got like 31 points out there or something, AKA ahead of Rob Warner and ahead of Elliot Jackson, which is all that matters right there. So I'm not going to spill the beans and tell you who I have for 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, but I welcome you to go to redbull.com and try to make your selections. Alan, if you happen to go on the site, what would you choose right now?
I mean, that's something we've been talking about, Emil, and his amazing streak. We also have, you know, a lot of tough competitors out there. We got Nicholi, who has the same amount of Crankworx Slopestyle wins, but hasn't won since 2018 in Leger. So, you know, he's going to be looking up there, and I've been seeing him eyeing up that new whale tail up there on the course. That totally plays into his style, and You know, I think if there's going to be a course out here on the tour that's going to offer him a chance to take the win, I think we got it right here.
Oh, man. So we've talked about the riders we have on tap here. Now you're starting to talk about the course. And this is a brand new course. I know if you're a Slopestyle fan, you've been trying to get info about it on the internet. The moment is now. Let's check out the course preview with Thomas Genon and Max Fredriksson.
So I'm at the top with Nicholi Rogatkin at Crankworx BC. They finally just opened the last jump and no one's tested it. So we thought, why test the last jump? Why not just try a full top to bottom? Let's do it. Following you, bro. Slow down heavily here. Kind of stand still. Yeah. Oh, this is quite fast. 3 off the ready. Cheeking a couple pedals. Yeah. 4 up. 4 down. Rail the berm.
I'll say, hell yeah.
Top to bottom, Crankworx BC, there she is.
It's great to get an idea of what it's like to go top to bottom on this course there with Max Fredriksson and the king of Stoke, Nicholi Rogatkin. Max Fredriksson, of course, looking to get back on that podium. It was 2016 when he got 3rd place, and that's a ways away. So he's looking strong. It would be great to see him get back onto that box. And I would see this course playing into his favor, but really what this course does is it gives every rider an opportunity to focus more on their run rather than the course. And that sounds like what Brett Rheeder and MacDuff really set their sights on when designing and building this course here. And it's been a while since we've seen a brand new course on the Crankworx World Tour. We've been revisiting the Innsbruck course, we've been revisiting the Rotorua course, and what we've just heard echoed throughout the past few days about this course is that this is a course unlike any other, and the riders really seem to be hyped on it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, this is definitely a rider's course. You know, the way that the jumps are set up, the lips are a bit steeper, a bit steeper landings. You know, it's going to really offer the best opportunity for the most tricks.
Yeah, we caught up with Eric Fedko. He had a couple things to say about this course as well.
From seeing the course, I was like, my first impression was like, oh my god, this is gonna be the most progressive and insane slopestyle competition ever, because like how the features are placed, how the jumps are looking from the size and everything, how the dirt is actually. It looks just super nice, and I was super stoked to get on the course actually.
Such a gamble holding a slopestyle contest in British Columbia in September. Winter feels like it's here. This feels like the tail end of fall, not the beginning of fall. And you know, we had some frost yesterday morning, so I think we're really lucky that we've got a gap in the storms right now to where we're able to get rolling top to bottom on this course. Definitely figuring out the speeds. A lot of pedaling on this course, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. You know, the weather is going to play a little factor, but it is the same course for everybody. But one of the things that you're going to see more of in today's competition, you're going to see the riders really putting a lot of effort into gaining speed out of the turns. They're going to be really railing these turns. You're going to see riders taking some pedals where maybe normally we wouldn't. So precision and keeping your speed up is going to be super, super key to today's competition.
Second stop on the World Tour. All these riders thinking about their overall ranking. And of course, we travel this tour with the same judges that are so well versed in assigning numbers to these runs. We're lucky enough to be able to have Anton Thielander, a judge who was actually judging in Innsbruck. He's going to be able to hang out with us and talk a little bit about what goes through these judges' minds as they're trying to figure out how to rank these guys, what these scores are worth. And there he is, top right hand of our screen right now. How's it going, Anton?
I'm doing well. How are you, Cam?
It's good, man. It's cold out here, but I know that's nothing for you up there in Sweden.
No, I'm also up north in Sweden, which is also similar conditions to what you're experiencing today, so I can relate.
So Anton Thielander, of course, not only just a judge, but a rider we had just a few years ago on the Crankworx Slopestyle World Tour. Anton, what do you make of this course?
I mean, it's riders designed, and yeah, Brett and Matt did an awesome job building it, and they're also riding it themselves, so I think it really speaks, just seeing the social media clips I've seen the last couple of days, that they did a killer job, and yeah, dude, they look so much fun.
After close to 20 years of slopestyle courses, this is where we are now, where riders can design and build their own ideas for a course and let the best in the world take to it. So Anton, thanks for joining us. We'll continue to check back in with you periodically through the broadcast. But there's a look at what things are doing here at SilverStar Mountain Resort. Overcast day, chilly, but these riders were out early practicing. You were out here watching them, Alan.
I was, yeah. I was out here before any of the riders came out, actually, and I noticed Emil, he showed up with super focused face, first guy here today. Obviously, he was motivated and stoked on the day, and he had 2 runs in before anyone else showed up, and that just kind of shows you the sort of commitment and focus that these guys put in these events these days.
Well, you have a view of the course right here. You know who's going to be competing. This is going to be an all-time competition. We are moments away from dropping our first rider, Griffin Paulson. Stick around.
Pump up your tires for the Bike Channel on Red Bull TV. And check out the best live events, feature films, and shows. Download the Red Bull TV app for free. And sign in to watch all of our content offline. Download the app now.
High in the Arctic Circle, devoid of human life. With the bike on the back, they embark on an adventure, which will test their skills and also their sanity.
This place definitely makes you feel very small.
Watch North of Nightfall, available on Red Bull TV.
I'm Matt Jones, I'm a professional freestyle mountain bike rider, and I'm attempting 3 world's first tricks that have never been done on a mountain bike. And I'm tackling this project with my twin brother, Jono. It's going to be a journey. No points at all for that. Are you going to hit me if I stand here? No.
Matt Jones, Design and Conquer, now available on Red Bull TV.
SilverStar Bike Park, close to Vernon, BC. If you're considering a mountain bike vacation, consider SilverStar, second largest in Canada, 130 kilometers of trails, and this is the home to the SilverStar, the title slopestyle at SilverStar Bike Park, presented by CLIF. And I would say it's an ideal day for competition, unless you're a competitor. It's got to be so hard to hold onto those handlebars without gloves on right now, but we are moments away from starting this competition. I just saw Griffin Paulson loading up into the gate. This will be his first appearance on the Crankworx World Tour. If this is your first time watching a slopestyle contest here at Crankworx, Alan, explain how the competition format works.
Well, these guys are going to be judged on several different things. The main thing is getting from top to bottom with a clean run and all the tricks you can get from the top and bottom.
Let's hear what the guys have to say about it.
And they're the biggest contest of the year. Here's how it goes.
The 14 best slopestyle riders on the planet are here.
Each rider gets 2 runs. 4 judges will calculate the scores.
At the end of the day, the best run counts and the rider with the top score takes the win. Let's go.
Pretty simple there, Alan.
Yeah, pretty simple. Top to bottom, got to be clean. The judges are going to be paying attention to how good people are landing, how they're getting through. Style's going to play into account, how high they're getting on the jumps. There's a lot of little bits that play in that really end up that ultimate overall impression from top to bottom.
So Griffin Paulson, this may be his first time dropping into a Crankworx slopestyle run, but it's not his first rodeo. He had 5th place at the Roof Ride 2021 in Poland, and he's been climbing the ranks. This is a huge opportunity for him, and this is going to really put the pressure on the judges here as well. Griffin Paulson may not be a name you're familiar with if you only follow Crankworx slopestyle, but he's been climbing the ranks, and he's been dropping some banger video parts. If he lands his run top to bottom with all the stuff that we think he has planned, this could be a huge score in our very first run.
Absolutely. This is Griffin Paulson's contest right now. It's his opportunity to really set the tone and really set the bar for how this is going to go.
Here we go. The only Canadian in the field here today, Griffin Paulson on course.
Here we go, we're gonna get our first look at the course. Big flip whip, tons of amplitude. Double backflip, down off the whale tail.
All right, we're off and running here.
Yes! 360 double tail. Now he's gonna slow down, check up a bunch right here. Coming into this next drop off. It looks like he's setting up for something big.
All right, we saw what he was doing in practice. It's nice to have a chance to catch his breath here. What's he got, Alan?
Big front flip off the drop. That's something you see off of a flat drop very often.
Oh, come on.
Yes! That was a no-handed double flip. He's looking super clean. He is setting the tone. Nice 360 up. Straight backflip, drop in. He's almost home.
Here we go, one last jump for Griffin Paulson. What's he got for us? Oh, look at that. Was that a front flip bar spin?
That was a huge front flip bar spin. He just made his mark on this event. Top to bottom, super clean. Now everybody's looking at him.
That is what's up. After days of practice, rain delays, these riders have worked so hard to put together these runs, and it feels so good to watch our Crankworx rookie stomp to kick this thing off.
Absolutely, that's exactly what he needed to do.
Very happy for this kid here. Let's look back at some slow-mo replays.
And watch when he lands on this, gets all the pump to generate, gets one pedal in and a huge double flip off the whale tail. Coming in, keeping the momentum. Gonna go straight into this double tail whip 360. Lands perfectly straight.
This whole run, I was like, come on, come on. Like, the degree of difficulty on every feature is so high. This is maybe the only spot where he would have wanted to get another combo.
But then straight into that flat drop backflip. That's such a scary blind trick to do.
All right, here we go. We want to see if he got, we got the slow-mo. Okay, it was a front flip X-up. You think he was going for the bar spin there? It was hard to tell. Now that we have the opportunity to slow it down, we can see that he didn't get the bar.
Yeah,
but a front flip one-handed X-up is still a trick, you know?
Yeah, still an amazing, amazing run. Let's see what the judges come with the score.
All right, what will the score be here for the Canadian Griffin Paulson? A great run, and as we saw the slow-mo, some room to improve here if he needs to. 84.66, our first run of the day. Griffin Paulson with a big smile.
Yeah, he's going to be happy with that run. He's going to have some time to watch the rest of the riders and kind of see how the contest is going to shake out. And, you know, maybe he's got some room to improve on some of those jumps for the next run.
Well, the next rider to take to this beautiful, fresh course is going to be Tom Isted. This is his third Crankworx appearance. His best result was a 10th in Rotorua 2019. Great to see him work his way back onto the tour. Tom Isted had a great Britain on course.
Yeah, here comes Tom getting a couple pedals in. Let's see how he sets it off on the step up. Big no-handed tuck backflip. Flip whip on the step down. Oh! He just over-rotated just a hair. Slight over-rotation, and when he landed, his weight was off to the right a little bit, and that's just going to cause him to slide out.
The tough part about that is Tom Isted has that all day. But, you know, anything can happen when the pressure's on here. Your first of two runs. Luckily, he'll have another opportunity to try to get a top-to-bottom run and a score in the bank to get some of those points and stay on tour. Let's just talk about this whale tail for a second. I can guarantee you today, you're going to see tricks into and out of a whale tail that have never been done in slopestyle competition before because of the way this thing's designed.
Yeah, and you could see Tom there. He caught the whip just a little early and over-rotated the spin coming in there. But he looks okay. He's going to be back for another run for sure.
So Tom Isted brushing off the dirt, focusing on that second run there. You see a lot of these riders riding these bikes that may look different than the bike that you typically ride on your weekend trail ride. These are very, very short travel bikes. We're talking about 80 mil, 100 mil front suspension in the fork. 13 out of 14 of these riders actually running hardtails, but our top dog, the guy who's looking to make it 5 in a row, is actually running a full suspension bike. And if the riders aren't a full suspension bike, it's going to be very short travel in the rear. No need for gears out here. Single speed, pick a gear that works for sprinting into those 10.5-foot tall lips and stick with it. Low seats, no need for a dropper, but hydraulic detanglers, mechanical detanglers, making it so these riders can do as many bar spins and tail whips as they want on these features. Next rider to drop is going to be Lucas Knopf. 5th place is his highest Crankworx finish. He had a bobble for an 11th to start the season in Innsbruck. Looking to improve here, Lucas Knopf.
Starts off with a huge tuck no-handed backflip. right into a big flip whip down the step down. Such a solid way to start it off. 360 bar spin to tail whip. Clean. So many combos. These jumps really just set these riders up. You kind of float there, and without that big forward momentum, you're able to get more tricks off in one jump. Big truck on the step down. Let's see what he's got on this middle set. Bar spin backflip to tail whip. Perfectly clean. Pedal to pedal. Opposite 360. Big tail whip. Little front heavy there coming in. He's still got his speed, though. He's going to send it.
There we go.
Front flip no-hander.
Lucas Knopf. A big, cheerful, joyous finish right there. Imagine how good it feels to stomp your run. When we were watching practice, a lot of these riders were talking about the fact that they're doing mid-course stops, mid-course pickups, not really doing top-to-bottom runs in practice because it's such a taxing course from a cardiovascular perspective, so much sprinting into those 3 main trick jumps.
Yeah, not only the effort you put in sprinting, a lot of the times when you're doing tricks just like this, like a flip whip out of a whale tail, you might be holding your breath, you know? You're trying some new things, and it really adds up at the bottom when you get down there. Here we are picking back up. Big truck into the step down.
This great FPV drone perspective there of that perfectly executed backflip bar spin to tail whip. And here's the final jump. He ended things off with a front flip tuck no-hander. We get to really savor how much extension there were in the arms. Lucas Knopf, the big question is, what will the score be? Will it be a big enough score to knock Griffin Paulson out of that top spot? The score to beat is an 84.66. Lucas absolutely psyched on stomping that run. There we go, the score is in, good enough for second place, a 75. So really goes to show how much the judges love the run of Griffin Paulson for that 84.66.
Yeah, for sure. You can tell that is the one that's really set the tone. You know, that's not a bad run there for Lucas. You know, he stomped everything he wanted to do. We know he's got more tricks. He's building that confidence up to that next run. But let's get back to the top. It looks like we got another rider ready.
There we go. Alex Alanko out of Sweden. His Crankworx slopestyle best result was a 3rd in Rotorua 2019. He had issues to start the season in 2021. A 12th in Innsbruck, and this is how that happened if you remember back. Overshooting a little bit off of that cannon. We're going to work our way down to that 3rd feature on the course and see where things kind of went wrong for him.
Yeah, the jumps were huge in Innsbruck. This is where we started to have a little bit of an issue.
2, 3.
Caught his bars a little late, tried to bail out last second, but then just took a big body slam. Luckily, he had that chest armor.
Alex Alanko was luckily all right after that big crash. He was able to get back up to the top of the course and do his second run. Second run was just good enough for 12th place, 11th place in Innsbruck. So the young Swede looking to maintain those points, stay on tour after that result to start the season. He's tasted the podium. He'd love to do it again. Alex Alanko on course.
Starts it off with a big catch truck driver into an opposite 360. That's something to pay attention to. These riders will be spinning in both directions. There's another big double truck. You can see maybe shaking a little bit, not what he wanted. He's not stopping, he's just slowing down for this next big drop.
It's so wild how slow you can go off of this feature. You see all of them taking the opportunity to reset. There we go.
Big opposite 360. And a huge cork 7 coming down, looking good. Bar back. Big 360 off, coming into this final hit, Cam. Let's see what we got.
Here we go, Alex Alanko. How will he put punctuation to this run? Finishing it off with a front flip, unfortunately going down. Such a shame. You love to see riders get a top to bottom run in their first stab at it. You're seeing a lot of riders choose the front flip on this final jump. What do you think the reason is for that, Alan?
Yeah, front flip's one of those tricks that you can really get over a jump. Like if you need more speed, if you're coming into a jump a little too slow, the front flip will give you that forward momentum to get where you need to. And it looked like that was totally clean. I couldn't tell exactly what went wrong, but let's hope he's okay.
Well, the converse side to that is, yeah, if you front flip early, you're able to push through, get a little bit more distance. But if you're coming in too slow, you don't necessarily get as much snap. So a little bit of an under rotation there. We'll get down to the bottom of the course. But let's go back to the top. The whale tail, that double truck in, then opposite 3 out. And you did see him shake his head a little bit after landing this step up. I believe this was a regular rotated double truck. Again, he's thinking, all right, I already repeated a trick, so we got to just salvage this run right here.
Yeah, you know, he's just getting his run down. It's unfortunate he had that mistake at the end, but he's building confidence. He's got another run in the bag. He knows he's going to have another chance.
So let's see what angle we get here on this final jump. Let's see if he did push that front flip early. You see, he's long on the distance and short on the rotation. That's a telltale sign of starting your front flip early on the lip. You don't necessarily get as much initiation of that rotation. You do get a little bit of distance, but if that back tire hits first and your brake is on, it's going to toss you over. Let's hear what he has to say. Score in a 41.33. Obviously, he's going to get back up to the top of the course as long as the body and the bike are good. We would love to see him get a clean one in the bag, stay on tour. Speaking about staying on tour, a guy who has done so much in this sport for such a long time. He's won a Crankworx stop. He's gotten 3 seconds and 2/3, or 3/3 as well. It's been a while, so Tommy G looking to crack back onto that podium. Double whip into the whale tail.
Nice, yes. 360 table down. That's exactly what we expect out of Thomas Genon, the best style. Huge cash roll.
He is on right now, Alan.
Yeah, he is definitely on point, looking really good.
My favorite style of a cash roll right there. He just puts his fingerprint on it.
Big fast plant 3 down, little bit of hang up. Now you're gonna see him on the pedals as hard as he can.
Oh, come on! Yes, 3-bar to whip.
How did he get that around? Just muscled it around. Big
willpower.
3.
Opposite 3 down off of the on-off. One final jump here. Can he put it through the finish line? Thomas Genon, 360 downside tail straight to pedals.
Yeah, he'll take that one. He'll take that one all the way to the bank. Obviously one of the best styles in all of freeride mountain biking, making it look easy out there.
Tommy G, such a veteran in this sport and a well-rounded rider. He just received word this week that he made it into Red Bull Rampage. He was the first alternate. They're only letting 15 riders in this year, which makes it really tough. He was the first alternate. He absolutely needs to be there, and luckily he got that call. But he's got work to do before he gets down there. It's slopestyle time up here in SilverStar, and Tommy G just stomped a run.
Yeah, he's just getting warmed up. You're gonna see when we get down to that, where he's pedaling right there off that fast plant 360 drop off, he hung up just a little bit and ended up having to just muscle those pedals all the way through and unbelievably pulled that off on that mid-set.
That was like, I mean, we've seen him on the podium of Speed and Style. He had so much willpower in that berm, just sprinting into that jump, knowing that he needed every ounce of speed.
And there's that style that we expect out of Thomas Genon. Nose dipped, very relaxed, just casually waiting for the bike to come around. Grabs the bike and noses it in nice and smooth. That last jump, it looks like people Cam are having a little bit of trouble getting speed. We're seeing front flips, we're seeing a little bit of hang up, so we'll see how that develops throughout the day.
And how you take the turn?
He was telling me this morning it's so important to choose the right line through the berm. There we go, a 79, slotting Thomas Genon into second place.
So Paulson's score will hold the local Canadian holding down first place right now.
That is so cool to see. I was talking with some of the judges during practice today, and they said, wow, with Griffin going first, if he stomps his run, all the stuff that we think he has planned, this could really be a high score out of the gate. It is absolutely holding up. Well, if you're considering coming out to SilverStar, we want to show you what some of the local riding is, and what better way than the GT local laps here at SilverStar with Trevor Burke. Take a look.
Jump for show, corner for dough is the motto. You make a little styly though. Transfer in there.
Jacob, what is a shark fin?
A shark fin is an anatomical part of a large fish. But here in the bike parks, they're usually made out of dirt. They're like a berm that ends halfway and you get a nice jump out of them.
Little lines like this, what Jacob just did, are just gonna gain seconds over the course of the track and bump you up that spot on the podium. Yo! So if you transfer this jump really wide, it actually sets you up better for that corner.
I was a big fan of his work there. Huge fan.
Oh, kept it as long as he could. These local laps, eh? Locals know their stuff.
Well, get on out here if you have an opportunity. 130 kilometers of trails, 400 dirt jumps, 870 plus berms, 44 runs, whole lot of mountain bike going on here in the interior BC. But right now we're smack dab in the middle of our slopestyle competition here. Our next rider in the gate, the Swedish rider, Max Fredriksson, looking for a return to the podium as well. He had a third place at Joyride 2016, attempt to start the season. Here we go, Max Fredriksson.
Max starting off with a huge flip whip. Oh, to double truck to unturn down.
Somebody's on today.
Yeah, he's definitely on point.
Whoa!
Triple tail whip.
Come
Foot stomp. Just a little bit of a foot stomp. Now the judges are paying attention to that, but it's not over by any means. He still has plenty of opportunity to get a good score here.
Max Fredriksson is a rider who strives for perfection, so I hope he's able to put that one behind him. There we go. Getting the 360 tuck no-hander off the drop.
You can see him sprinting at this mid-set. Big flip, double bar spin to no-hander, clean. Keeping it going. Opposite 360X up. Big truck down, now he's heading to the last jump. This is the Showtime booter.
Great to see the determination out of Max Fredriksson. One last trick, 360 double tail, straight to pedals.
Sticks it.
That is what's up. I am so happy for this kid right here.
You can see the relief on everyone's shoulders when they make it down to the bottom. This isn't an easy course to get down. You know, they're struggling, they're fighting their way down, but they're making it look good and making it happen.
Just in the tradition of slopestyle in BC, you got to make sure the riders are tired when they finish that run. Usually it's because there's so many features in Whistler, but right now it's because they're sprinting into these 10-foot tall lips.
I think we might need to work some cardio into their training regimen.
This guy does. He goes to the gym 6 days a week. Cardio is a big part of his program, so maybe that will be a reason why he has a good result out here today.
Yeah, here he comes up to the jump where he had the little issue. Big triple tail whip and a foot stomp. Just slipped off that outside foot, but he was able to recover and come straight back to this tuck no-handed 3.
So the judges are also reviewing this replay right here, bearing in mind that the top score right now is 84.99 from Griffin Paulson. Things like that backflip, double bar spin to tuck no-hander are definitely going to count. He's balancing things out nicely here on the on-off, regular and opposite directions, but this 360 double tail up was absolutely perfect, so we might as well watch it in slow motion.
We absolutely might as well. Catches that bike. You can see his eyes focus right in on the landing, and he steers that front end straight in. Pretty much perfect, just a little short, but you know, these guys are competing against each other, and everyone's kind of having that issue.
We've had a few people crash their runs as well, a couple crashes so far here. So with one tiny little pedal slip here, what will the score be? A 71, good enough for 4th place for Max Fredriksson.
Max Fredriksson, 100% chance you can go up and clean that up and put down.
Oh boy, here we go. The big man is at the top of the course right now, Tim Bringer. Best Crankworx slopestyle result is a 4th at Innsbruck 2020. This is his 4th Crankworx appearance. He was 5th place to start the 2021 season, and he's been on fire during practice. Here's Tim Bringer.
Yeah, be excited, because here comes Tim Bringer.
Watch this.
Big double backflip to start off his run into the whale tail. Huge double tail whip out. Maintaining his speed. Big truck driver.
Look at that, he kept the
Hangs
train on the track.
Let's see if he can keep it going. That was clean.
364 bar spins.
Big flat drop backflip. Look at him putting the power down.
This man has so much power, cranking
Flip double
around.
whip. He's clearing the jumps. He's got the weight behind him. He's got momentum. Big tail whip down. This is for all the money. Showtime booter. Let's see what he's got.
He needs a big ender to cap off this run. The cash roll clean.
And he sticks it. Amazing run.
All right, get ready for a big score. A lot to digest from that run right there. I'm going to be looking forward to these replays. But the big man out of France doing his job today. He's been fairly consistent since he burst onto the scene, rarely finishing out of the top 5. And Tim Bringer looking to beat that 84.66 from Griffin Paulson. We don't see double flips into whale tails very often.
Or on the first set very often, so that's like a double special surprise. But yeah, Tim coming out and just sending it, doing exactly what he needs to do. One of the things that stuck out to me the most in his runs is how much speed he had. He looked like he was one of the few riders that were not fighting the speed. You could see he saved that just by a hair right there.
What a save. I saw him do that quad truck in practice, but you know, to actually nail it in your run, it would have been easy to just stop at 3, but he wanted to absolutely go 100% in this run. He squeezed out the quad truck. He got the double bars up, catching pedals early on that whip drop. So his 2 drop tricks, a flat drop flip and a hop whip. So good variety out there, and a forward rotation variation we're seeing a lot on this final jump. He goes for the cash roll, which is basically a corked out 720 on a forward axis, letting that top shoulder lead into the initiation. Yeah, nothing to fault there in that run.
And so judges are definitely going to take notice of where he landed high up on the transition.
There we go. The score is in. An 81. Good enough for second place right now. He looks happy with that. Wow, Griffin Paulson standing strong there. The first rider to drop in our competition in his rookie Crankworx appearance is hanging tough. But we're getting deep into the lineup right now. The next rider, Lucas Hoopert, on the conquest for his first Crankworx Slopestyle podium. He's had a couple 7th places. He was the 2018 Rookie of the Year, and he's just been steadily climbing the ranks ever since.
Yeah, you can see Lucas super focused in, getting ready to drop.
Let's go, bro. Here we go, he says, let's go, bro. Lucas Hoopert on course.
Yeah, without the crowd, you got to hype yourself up a little bit, but he's definitely hyped. Big bar spin flip in. Double tail whip out of the whale tail. Comes up a little short, so he's going to need to give everything he can to get over this next jump. Managed to get a straight truck out.
Time to catch the breath, regroup here into this flat drop over the road.
Big truck in. So this is probably going to be his throwaway run, but he's going to want to use all this time to build confidence. Big corked out 720, such a slow transition. Downside 3-whip in. Big truck down. Such a cool shot from the drone. Coming into the Showtime booter.
Railing as much speed as he can through that berm. Another front flip variation to finish things off. Going for the front flip bar spin, but coming up a little under-rotated and looping out. Such a shame after all those tricks to throw it away on the final jump.
Yeah, he made that small mistake up there high early and then just ended up picking up the momentum and was just really sticking everything. I was really stoked to see him get down to the bottom. A bummer to have him loop out a little bit like that on that last one, but again, he does have that second run, so he's going to be able to take that back.
Man, 8 features and to stomp 7 and then throw it all the way on the last one. We've seen that a few times here today already. A little bit of a foot dab there. Obviously, that's something the judges would pay attention to if this was a clean run. A lot of truck drivers on the flat drops.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of those go-tos for those guys on these jumps, I think. Big, huge cork. You know, when I was talking about the keys to the track today, keeping your momentum and being precise, you could see, you know, he came up maybe, what, 3 or 4 inches short coming out of that whale tail, and it really, you could tell, it sort of disrupted the rest of his run and the rest of the flow.
Reaction, for sure. So that front flip bar spin would have been a great way to cap off this run after so many highlights. I love how lazy he was on that cork 7.
And at this point, he's completely blind. He has no idea he's under rotating until right about there.
That's the weird thing about front flips as well, is you do not see the landing until it's too late to really do anything about it. Luckily, sliding out of that one. More frustration than anything. He looks to be all right. We'll hang out for the score here for Lucas Hoopert, but he'll undoubtedly be looking forward to.
Yeah, Lucas's score comes in at 36. You know, it's obviously not going to be what he wants, but he's got another run. He's definitely had some solid moments in there, so he can take it back up to the top, and when it's next run, he can really put it all together. It's definitely not over. We got a few people out here, our future Crankworx stars.
So the past couple weeks have been amazing out here, and in case you haven't been following the whole story, it's been pretty fun. So why don't we check out, how do you find out about important sporting events? You go to the wide world of wide sports with Keilani Hines. Check it out.
Welcome to the wide world of sports. You're probably expecting this guy or this guy, but fortunately, you're stuck with me. You probably heard that Crankworx Whistler was canceled this year, but we're actually on the ultimate BC road trip. Our first stop was Sun Peaks. I didn't want to talk to him anyway. And the next stop was Kicking Horse for the ultimate downhill course, Psychosis. I got to see my boy Boo.
Like a cuddly bear. It looks so cuddly.
This is exactly why I'm here. And now we're here at the final stop at SilverStar Mountain Resort. We have a quadruple header here at SilverStar. The final stop to earn some extra points before heading to New Zealand. And in true Ed and Matt fashion, we're gonna close it with a stunt. And since we're in BC, I wanna do something truly Canadian.
Well, as you can see, we've been having fun out here, to say the least, and it all comes down to this. Title Slopestyle SilverStar Bike Park presented by CLIF, and we're right in the middle of competition here. Right before our broadcast started, it sounded like hunting season was in session. Big crash before Paul Couder. Great to see him up in the start tower, but this is what transpired right at the end of practice. Have a listen to this.
So honestly, I was the most excited.
I was hiking up into the booth, Alan, and I heard that sound. And you know what? Everybody kind of takes cover, because, I mean, we were pretty far away from that. But still, as you can hear on that replay, that echoed through the valley. It's not hunting season. It's just Paul Couder getting the last-minute preparations together for his run. And it's been a brutal day in practice for him. That was just one of 2 crashes he had as he was preparing for what I hope to be a dream run. Stomped here. He got that tire back on the rim with a fresh tube. He's back at the top of the course right now. I know the first crash he had this morning, he was complaining of some wrist pain. We see him now. That right wrist is probably the one in question. So let's get it. Paul Couder dropping in for his first of 2 runs.
Yeah, let's see what Paul can do here. Big, nice flip whip in. Nice 360 oppo. Keeping it really clean, getting those pedals in where he needs them. He's got his speed. Big 360 tail whip. So solid run so far, just getting things going. You saw him warming up that wrist as he dropped in. You could tell it's in his head, so let's see what he can pull together. Nice flip, 360 off the drop. Pedaling for everything he's got.
Everybody cheering him on. Come on, the double flip. Paul Couder.
Clears it, no problem. You can see his brother up there in the corner watching the monitor. Big flip dropping.
Come on, Paul, let's celebrate. Last jump for Paul Couder, and opposite cork 720, and he lands it.
And he sticks it. Fully cleared the jump.
Come on.
So much stoke between him and his brother.
He pulls his hair out. Oh, these two, I swear. His brother's a parkour athlete. They dream up all the craziest ideas. And you know, he's such a huge support for Paul coming into these difficult circumstances. Crashes in practice, cold days, traveling all the way from France. It's all worth it when you stomp your run.
Yeah, you can see the grimace in his face and his limping a little bit. He's feeling it, but sometimes a little adversity is all you need to find that perfect run.
You know what? You go, I don't have to search for excuses now. This stuff is actually tough. Let me just focus on the task at hand. Here we go, let's look back.
So maybe a little bit of a moderate start to his run, a huge flip whip with his 360 oppo in. That was what he went down on right before, but it looked like maybe he had another trick lined in there. Big 360 whip, but you can see he's clearing the jump, so the judges are gonna take note of where he's landing. Big fast plant 360 off, gets over the deck just barely, and there he is putting in all of that effort.
I mean, this is like a new thing for slopestyle. You have a cheering section into the sprint, into that big 10-foot tall lip there on our middle trick jump, right smack dab in the middle of the course. Everybody's cheering, sprint, sprint, sprint. They know if you don't sprint, you're gonna come up short, and that's going to derail the run.
Yeah, definitely a full effort top to bottom. As you can see here, coming into the Showtime booter, he's gonna give as many cranks as he can right into that oppo cork 720. He transferred so much on that jump and still managed to clear it. Let's look at this thing in slow-mo. Look how far ahead his head is. It's almost a full 180 ahead of the rest of the bike. So you can tell he's leading with his head, then his shoulders. Perfect landing.
Paul, what a stomped run. That run would be difficult under any circumstance, but I know you had so many issues in practice. Explain to me what you had to do in order to get the bike ready, the body ready to stomp that run.
Dude, first, sorry, I'm so exhausted. But I'm so stoked. It's been so tough this morning. I crashed on my hip so bad. I had so much pain on this wrist, and I managed to do this run, so, dude, so stoked.
So coming into that final jump, knowing you're gonna do one of your hardest tricks, how did you dig deep to be able to lean in and get that oppo cork 7?
Yeah, it's the hardest part of my run because I have to do a fucking sprint before the lip. And after doing all the bangers before, you just have to just think about the tricks, and yeah, I'm so stoked to land this one, yeah.
We were pulling for you up here in the booth, and we were celebrating big time when you stomped that run. Your score coming in right now, it's a 78.66, putting you in 4th place. Congratulations, Paul, on digging deep and stomping that run, man.
Thanks.
Wow, Alan, what a run there from Paul Couder.
Yeah, you could see how much he wanted it, getting about halfway through there and just really having to put down the power and really muscling through. Like I was saying, it was a little bit of a mellow start off just with those basic tricks on and off the whale tail. So you know Paul's got some room for improvement on that second run.
Well, there we go. We continue to heat things up right here. Another rider, Torquato Testa, who has tasted the podium. He was on the 3rd step there to kick off the 2021 season. Torquato Testa looking to pick up where he left off in Innsbruck.
Yeah, you know he's going to want to back up that bronze medal. Big cork 7 into the whale tail. Backflip no-hander out. I love the options that this whale tail is bringing to this contest.
What? Oh!
Little under-rotated on the cash roll bar spin. Just stopped instantly, didn't he? Look, he's halfway up the landing. That soft dirt, I think, is definitely rough to crash on. So hopefully he's okay, and we're going to see him back for that next run, or is he going to keep going?
Well, that's the one part of the course where if you wanted to keep going, you actually could. So he's either going to try to salvage some points, knowing that there's a lot of riders who did crash in their runs and not finish. I think, nope, he's going to call it right here, go back up to the top for his second run. But that would have been an interesting thing. You consider there's been so many crashes. You're going to score higher than a run that was incomplete if you're able to just start fresh and finish the run. But
yeah, it was a pretty brutal slam, though. He stopped instantly, and that's going to take a lot out of him, so I kind of don't blame him for pulling off there. You can see that huge cork 7 in, big tuck no-handed backflip out, and his run had started off pretty solid. And then this is where he had that trouble. The cash roll bar spin and just under-rotates it and fully lands completely sideways. And, you know, he had the distance, but it was the rotation is where he was lacking.
So Torquato Testa will plan on letting it all ride in the second run right there. First run not to be. So we're back at the top of the course right here. A man who started out the season just off the podium, but he knows what it takes to get on the podium. He has 4 third places. He's looking to crack into the top 2. And we caught up with him earlier, kind of talking about that subject and what it's going to take to get back on that podium.
I think the run I had in Innsbruck was pretty good. Like the first top 5 runs, they were like not even half a point like away from each other. So it was a close one, but I think I just have to I have to do a cleaner run, just get the trick styles, you know, have like a stylish, clean run, but still have good tricks in there. And I just want to, yeah, show it that you can do good with style as well.
This is a rider who has his own style on and off the course, and he's bringing some new tricks to the game we've seen in practice. He's got some new bangers. This is a look at how he sets up his pike DJ. He's a 145-pound human. He's running 174 pounds of PSI in there. The slope rider's not really caring too much about rebound, compression, clicks. Run it stiff, pedal hard, go big. Eric Fedko looking to get back on that podium. Here he comes.
Yeah, Fedko looking super comfortable in practice today.
Yes.
Big Indian C-crab. 3 up the...
Come on.
Was that 3?
That was 3. Triple
truck out. Yeah, he came through when he came out this morning.
Oh, come on! Way! 360 bar, whip, bar. How did he sneak that bar spin in?
That was unbelievable, Cam. Unbelievable.
Fedko on a tear right now.
Big Oppo 3. He knows what he's got going, so he's going to keep pushing.
Oh, there it is! That's the new
wiper,
trick I was talking about. 360 windshield wiper straight to pedals.
Bar X up 3 in. This is going to be it.
This could be a huge score if he can stomp this last jump. Eric Fedko, backflip, bar spin to tail. Perfect to pedals. Oh my. Come on.
Nosed it in. It doesn't get any better than that. I was trying to get it off earlier saying that when he came out in practice today, his first run, he tricked every single jump. So he's feeling this course. And that run was unbelievable.
That has got to be his dream run right there. I mean, he did some of his old favorite tricks that he does better than anybody in the game, like that 360 C-grab ending there. And then he's been working so hard between events. Tricks like that 360 windshield wiper, which I'm sure we're going to get a replay of. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the emotions coming out. He's probably been thinking about that run since he saw this course on paper. Here he comes in, first jump. Now, this is huge. 360 Indian Air C-grab. Amazing run there. And then here he comes in. Triple bar spin. Do you see that?
When he snuck that third one in, I was just...
This is the one that we're thinking about, though. How does he get this last bar spin? 360 bar spin, tail whip to bar spin.
I don't know how you keep your thoughts straight. I mean, you catch one of those and you realize you got 2 more to do, and then so clean and rounding it out with good variety on that opposite 360 drop. But this trick, it sounded like he's worked so hard on this between the events, going from the flat bag to the landing bag to the mulch to the hard jump, and then finally on a slopestyle course. And no pedal slips anywhere.
Yeah, to perfection. Everything that he did was amazing. Off the lip, landing. Here he is on this final set here we're gonna see.
And you
flip
know,
bar spin to tail whip, back flip, and pay attention where he lands. Pay attention where he lands. Front tire first, nosed in, committed, no holding back.
And look at this. Look at that. I mean, he's down the landing by half a bike length. It is absolutely perfect. I can see the back of the judges right now, and I can't see their computer screens, so I'm just as curious as you at home to find out what this score is going to be. Let's just talk about it, all right? 84.66 is a score to beat, currently held by Griffin Paulson. Eric Fedko just dropping a banger of a run. What is it going to be?
Scores coming in.
Whoa, here we go. A 91.66.
First score of the day in the 90s.
We're into the 90s, folks.
The judges saw what we saw. That was an amazing, stylish, huge, amazing run.
We can't stress enough how much work goes into stomping these runs right here. And how much determination to just squeeze that last bar spin in, or squeeze that last tail whip in, and absolutely stomp everything with precision. Now that we know this is our top run of the day, let's take another look at this backflip bar to whip in super duper phantom slow-mo. I can't believe how clean the feet to the pedals, plus where his bike touches down to that landing was.
Yeah, his run was just building up to this point, and it was like an explosion when he landed right here. You could see he comes in fully committed, front end first. You could tell, look at his face, just the emotion, like, I don't know what word was coming out of his mouth right there, but.
When you see a racer sprint to the finish line, now you're seeing them do the same thing, but they have to do a big trick after that sprint. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And we're just gonna keep the party rolling here with our third-ranked rider in the world. Dawid Godziek was absent from Innsbruck 2021. So it's been a while since we've seen him drop a contest run. There we go, top right, we see Brett and Fedko celebrating that run, but we're back to business right now with Dawid Godziek out of Poland on course.
Yeah, let's see what David can do starting off his tour here in SilverStar Bike Park. Solid in the whale tail feature. Big cash roll bar spin. That was what we saw Crash on that earlier, so he's one-upping a little bit here. Gonna slow it down, sort of reset for the second half of this run. Let's see what he's got on the flat drop. Opposite tail whip. Just to put it into perspective, when we call it opposite, it's like riding with the other end. A huge twister.
Yes.
He is on point right now. I think Fedko got this comp really kicked off.
Yeah, the energy is high here. Dawid Godziek looking to put it through the finish line. One last jump. What's it gonna be? Front foot bar spin to tuck no-hander. Gets the three-part combo to punctuate this run. All right, we are off and running.
Yeah, we are.
This is a contest.
It's warming up. It's not the temperature, but it's definitely getting warm out here. Godziek stuck that from top to bottom. Really excited to see how these scores come out. And this is where even the riders that might have had a couple of mistakes earlier, they're seeing this too, and this is going to feed to their next runs. What do you think he's listening to? Got headphones in?
I feel like we got some some high energy dance music or something.
Started it off with a huge bar spin double bar spin backflip to double tail whip out. Again, that's that whale tail feature we've talked about so many times, how it's opening up the trick lists.
And look at that. I mean, it was so smooth, it could possibly go unnoticed, but the judges know exactly what they're staring at with that opposite tail up going the unnatural direction. And look at this. We call it a twister, but let's explain what that means. It's a front cork 1080.
There's a regular tail whip off the next drop in, and then if there's anybody that's down for the Showtime booter, it's Godziek.
You got to go online and follow David and his brother Simon's YouTube channel, where they have their training sessions broadcast to the world, so you can see what they've been working on. They practice on jumps like this every day, so when the pressure's on, you can do exactly what David just did, capping that run off with the front flip bar spin to tuck no-hander. I like how he was balanced. Both of the flat drops, he had an opposite whip and then a regular whip, then bangers on all of the 10-foot tall kickers. And what will the score be for Dawid Godziek? Score to beat a 91.66. He goes into second place with an 89.
89, so pushing the low dog, Griffin Paulson down into third as we get into the meat of this slopestyle.
So congrats to Dawid Godziek right there, slotting into second place, and the dust is still settling on that absolute bomb that Eric Fedko dropped on the World of Slopestyle. That was such a ridiculous run. We saw Brett Rheeder there congratulating him, but guess what? We got the top two slopestyle riders in the world at the top of the course. Nicholi Rogatkin next to drop. In every slopestyle contest we see him in, he makes his mark. What will the story be today?
We're going to take a look back at his run from Innsbruck, silver medal run.
So Nicholi Rogatkin in run number one, having an uncharacteristic air there, going for that tail whip variation on the hip jump. Didn't set his arms, but guess what? He learned from that mistake. He bounced back in run number two and really stomped his run, not only fixing that mistake, but unveiling something new at the bottom of the course.
Yeah, Nicholi had been eyeing this up for the entire practice session the whole week, and it all came down to his last run. He loves the pressure. He feeds off the crowd. He feeds off the pressure.
I want to talk about this cork 720 out of the whale tail here. Look how smooth and clean that was, and then he complemented it with a new one for him, a guy we never see doing opposite tricks, unveiling his first oppo trick, which was an oppo cash roll. He's like, all right, I'm not gonna just play around with oppo threes, oppo whips. If I'm gonna do an oppo trick, it's going to be an oppo banger, because this guy comes with just the tricks that are made for the crowd. You know, like if he was a fireworks display, he would just have grand finales.
Whenever? Yeah,
the whole display.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is definitely hype right here to put it into words that Nicholi would understand. Here he comes at this first set.
Nicholi Rogatkin looking to get back on the top. Here we go, cash roll in. Wow, what a link there.
Hung up a little bit, so it's going to be tough to keep his speed. Front flip bar spin.
All right, he's back on track now.
He's back on track. He can reset here. He can take a deep breath, reset for the second half of the course. Huge dropping, 360X up in. You can hear the few people here cheering, getting him over. There's the huge twister.
There we go.
As clean as can be. He's definitely back on. Superman C-grab one-hander.
Come on.
Oh!
Come on, no!
He missed the pop on that.
Oh, man. Nicholi Rogatkin going down on a flat drop flip, coming off the on-off box. And now this is a guy who constantly pushes the limit. You see him hit the ground. He usually pops up real quick. That was a big one right there. And we're gonna let our...
If there's any rider here that could take it, he's got the most pads on. He's the strongest guy out there. Unfortunately, yeah, he just missed that pop on that flat drop backflip.
I saw him do one in practice. Linking that Superman seat grab one-hander into that flat drop flip is so tech, because you need that setup time to really get your bearings and position your body right to be able to snap that flat drop flip. There's no lip on the top of that structure, so you got to use your legs to basically make your own lip and push with the legs to initiate. And if your legs are still bent or your hand's still getting on from that previous trick, it's hard to square up and get set.
Yeah, you load up so much energy in your legs and your arms, and you need to just let it snap. And if you're even, a half of a split second off, it's just not going to come around.
So live shots here now of Nicholi putting himself together after that crash. We're going to take a chance right now to look back. So we had that Superman seat grab one-hander. Let's see if he was set. He was taking pedals right up to the very end there, just didn't get the snap. He knew it. Imagine if he wasn't a bike rider. He was just a human jumping off of something that high and landing that far down.
Yeah, he definitely rolled the dice. That was one of the biggest tricks we've seen up into that. And then off the drop, it looked like it didn't quite snap.
The knees were a little bit bent. Oh, what a bummer to see Nicholi Rogatkin go down.
Yeah, it looked like maybe he bumped his head a little bit there. Let's hope he's okay. You can see the rest of the riders, just as concerned for him as we are. These guys are such a tight global Nick family, traveling around the world and now traveling around BC together. So definitely going to be checking in on Nicholi.
Especially for Nicholi, too, because he's the guy who's the biggest cheerleader of all of his competitors. So that kind of works both ways. When he goes down, the riders are all looking to see him pop up as quick as possible. It's great to see the Gladiator Nicholi back up and cruising around. Hopefully he's healthy enough to take a second run, but we will understand if he's not. That was quite the impact. And a guy who's had a mega impact on this sport is the best in the world at this moment right now. Emil Johansson looking for 5 in a row. Let's take a look at how he sets up his bike for slopestyle.
Hello, my name is Emil Johansson. I'm out here at Crankworx BC 2021, and this is my bike check. For the most part, I stay pretty consistent. I have around 200 PSI in the fork, 275 in the shock. Tire pressure, I'm running around 4 bars. I'm not really doing PSI when it comes to the tires, so I have 4 bars in the front, 4.5 in the rear. I have a pace. Tire in the back, exo protection, tubeless ready casing on it, a bit thicker, a bit more sturdy on the big hits. In the front, I got the Icon 2.2. Yeah, I forgot to say, this is a 2.1 in the back as well. It's nice to have a bit of extra clearance on the rear triangle. It happens that you land sideways, so it's good to not have the tire touching the frame. SRAM Exo 1 DH cranks, 165s, 30 tooth front sprocket. A bit smaller, it's nice because I have a 12 tooth sprocket in the back. SRAM 11 speed chain. In the cockpit, I'm on the 6-pack Millennium series. EJ stem on this one. It's still only a prototype, but soon to come out. Sensus grips, of course, the MJs, my signature grips. I'm running the SRAM Avid BB7 road caliper. It's an Avid SL caliper, a bit of a lighter one, the lightest one they have. Full BMX gyro setup, shadow gyro on this one with bearings inside, less friction, so more time for activities without frustration. An Odyssey brake lever, some homemade modification on this one for my thumb. If I can't hold hard enough on the bars, you kind of twist and then I would peel my skin off, so I did that. It's been working ever since. EJ 6-pack seat. We got some custom HT component pedals Industry 9 Enduro 305 rims. It's been my go-to wheel since 2016. It's the Hydro hub in the back. Best sounding hub in the business in my opinion, and yeah, pretty stoked on it. It's a full childhood dream bike and does the job for what I want to do, so really stoked.
Emil Johansson with a dialed setup right there, the only slopestyle competitor to win 4 in a row Crankworx Slopestyles, the only guy on a full suspension out there. He's got that Trek Ticket S setup absolutely perfect, and he's looking to make it 5 in a row. This would be one for the history books if he's able to stomp this run. We've been watching him in practice, and it all comes down to this. MJ on course.
Yeah, he's definitely in the zone in practice. Let's see what he's got coming at this whale tail. Big 3 double down whip. Huge oppo truck to downside tail whip.
So much amplitude.
Big bite. It's almost like he's riding a different course. He's going about 2 or 3 feet higher than everybody. I don't know where he's getting the speed, but he's making it work for him.
Emil Johansson setting up for the flat drop. Yes.
Big oppo 3 tuck no-hander.
He's got the speed. Oh!
Oppo 3 double. When we say oppo, that's like trying to write your name with your opposite hand. But he's doing it. He's going both ways. Big flat drop backflip.
What's it gonna be? One last jump here for Emil Johansson.
Oh! Yes! I've never even seen that before.
360 bar to double downside tail whip to put an exclamation point at the end of this run. He does it again, man. What's the score gonna be here? The score to beat is a 91.66.
Well, I think if it's possible to beat, that's something that could definitely beat. You could see it all come out at the end how stoked he is. That's exactly what he wanted to do. It's so cool to see him coming out, and he's not just doing the same runs that he won in Innsbruck. He's stepping up every single contest and elevating not only himself, but the sport.
Well, we talked to him when he won in Innsbruck, and he said it's more important to him to stomp his dream run than it is to win the competition. It just so happens he's the best in the world, so if he does land his dream run, it beats everybody else. Can't wait to see what the score is going to be here. So much variety as well, going, you know, backwards, forwards, left, right, the opposite 360 tuck no-hander off the flat drop, and he's carrying so much more speed than everybody here as well.
Yeah, one of the ways he's keeping his momentum is he's going higher than everybody, so the higher you fall from, the more momentum you're gonna have pumping the transitions, and he's really just making it work, and the only way that does work is landing all your tricks perfectly, which he's also doing.
I love the fact that he got the flat drop backflip off the on-off, because that means he's able to just check all the boxes, front, back, left, right. Here we go, 360 bar spin.
Now it's gonna go around twice.
We go, okay, cool, to downside whip. No, overachiever, he wants 2 of them. And he wants 2 feet on both of those pedals.
There's 1, there's 2, perfect landing.
It's absolutely perfect. I mean, we're comparing the run from Fedko to the run from Emil right here. That's what the judges are going to be doing. Both of the runs absolutely spotless, so it comes down to trick choice. And I mean, the amplitude factor can't be overlooked from Emil right now. The score is in. What's it going to be? Score to beat a 91.66 from Eric Fedko. Emil Johansson scores a 95. He is in the lead. Look at this guy.
There it is. That's what he had on his mind when he showed up this morning. First rider on the course, last rider to go in these run ones, and he's taking the lead with a 95.
You know what's crazy is earlier on this year, Innsbruck, that's the first time we saw him not land his first run and have to come from behind with all the pressure on in run number 2. So he goes back to his old ways, stomping run number 1. And that run scored a 95. Take a look. Griffin Paulson moved down to 4th place, just outside the podium.
Yeah, still holding on to top 5 though. You got Tom Bringer right there in 5th place, but let's go up to the top and look at Emil with a 95. Fedko 91. Godziek just behind him an 89. Coming into your last riders, Max Fredrickson. Now these guys, they had some issues with their first runs, so these guys are really going to look at upping their runs coming down run 2.
Well, insane runs from our top 14 slopestyle riders in the world. A handful of them going down, a handful of them stomping their absolute dream runs. We'll have run 2 coming up shortly. Stick with us.
Experience select live events in a whole new way on Red Bull TV. Athletes' profiles and KPIs. Start lists and results. Head-to-head analysis and animated guides. Track information and obstacles. Keep up with your favorite athletes and artists. The new sidebar is available exclusively on Red Bull TV. Fear. A constant companion that even the mountain bike elite have to deal with.
And your mind just starts kind of playing tricks on you because you can't do anything.
3, 2, 1, delve deep into the psyche of the athletes. And get to know one of their biggest driving forces. Reverence, a journey into fear. Now available on Red Bull TV. It's one of the most popular outdoor sports. From its early beginnings to the creation of major events and disciplines. Rolling with the current legends. Everything you need to know about rules, history, and terminology. The ABC of mountain biking. Now available on Red Bull TV.
The man, Emil Johansson, hopping into that shuttle vehicle to get back to the top of the course. This is where you have an opportunity to exhale a little bit. If you're the best in the world, Emil Johansson, he's done his dream run. He gets to sit back and see if anybody can beat it. We'll run these riders in reverse order now, so Emil will be dropping last. Those riders with the crashes will be dropping first. And then those riders in the middle of the field who stomped a run but have some room to kind of brush things up, take this piece of sandpaper and smooth things out. So that's going to be fun to watch because it just is in the same way as we saw spotless runs. We saw a lot of runs that have room for improvement, didn't we?
Absolutely. You know, the contest is far from over. You know, these guys are going to re-rack. They're going to get set. The guys that had mistakes are going to be earlier in the run, so we're going to see some opportunities definitely for those guys to step up.
Yeah, this whole week has been so cool, and Slopestyle is such a fun way to to finish things off because we got so much riding in, and some of these hotbeds of local riding areas in BC are just ridiculous. We've been able to ride in Sun Peaks, close to Golden for the second stop, and then here in SilverStar. But you guys with Specialized, you've been working on putting together some hubs for the communities in some of these crucial riding locations, haven't you?
Yeah. What we call them is the Specialized Experience Center. So really what that is a way to come in and experience the brand and really putting them in heartbeds of the world. You know, like where is the mountain bike world beating? You know, where are things happening? And where better than the Sea to Sky region. So the latest one that just opened is up there in Squamish, BC. It's going to be, there it is right there, you can see it on screen. So the Experience Center, you know, we're not selling bikes out of there. It's an opportunity for people to come in and demo, just to get to experience the brand and what Specialized is all about and how we can, you know, really offer something from head to toe, no matter what skilled rider you are, and really coming into these areas in the bike world as a facilitative manner. If there's going to be a fundraiser that needs to happen or a ride out or a trail build day, this is the facility for the community to really kind of come together and make this place their hub. And so we're going to be dropping them not only in Squamish, there's one right now in Santa Cruz, Boulder. There's plans to really sprinkle these things around the world, so it'll be pretty fun.
It's cool now that mountain biking's getting so popular. You see these, you know, some of those old favorite locations for mountain biking are just like really ramping it up. Some of those locations that you guys are getting involved with. You know, if you're a mountain biker, it's a good time to be a mountain biker.
Yeah,
so all these locations we're talking about, make sure you put them on your hit list for places to go on vacation. SilverStar, definitely a great place to check out. What was your favorite spot we got to ride here so far?
Canada, for sure. Canada.
Just Canada in general.
Yeah, definitely Canada. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I thought I had been to Canada before, but I'm typical, like, I feel like a tourist. I've only been to Whistler, right? But this trip, it's really opened my eyes to what the interior has, and my mind's constantly going, like, trying to see what this place is like with snow, and am I going to make this the next vacation spot? So, yeah, all of these resorts that we've come to and really getting to experience the interior is pretty cool.
So let's stop rubbing it in. Anton's hanging out in northern Sweden right now, and we've ignored him for so long. Let's bring him back in. What up, Anton? What do you think of those runs, man? Are you glad you're not out here judging? Because That's a big, important job. Do you feel for these guys or what?
What's that?
Yeah, what up, Cam? Thanks for having me back. Yeah, that was a hell of a show. First couple runs there, and yeah, I'm glad I'm not judging today. I'm just spectating and fully enjoying the show, which is an awesome experience from here in Sweden.
So, from the comfort of your own couch, let's put yourself in the mindset that you are here judging, and you saw Eric Fedko drop that run. Then you saw Emil drop his run. What do you think the judges saw in Emil's run that led them to score him higher? Do you agree? Give us your thoughts, professional judge man.
Yeah, all right, I'll do my best. I mean, I can't really help not to judge because obviously I'm thinking what they're thinking, but I just don't have to put it in paper today, which is nice. So yeah, I actually was kind of putting in scores on Fedko's run and was going to put him in 92, so I guess it was fairly close because they had him in 191.66, I believe. And then MJ dropped in, and per usual, he goes higher than everyone, bigger than everyone, more technical, so it's hard to not put him in first. So I definitely agree with the judging.
Well, Anton, can you see this run right here? We're getting a replay of Emil's run.
Yeah, I'm just mind blown every time I see this guy ride, even though I ride with him on like a day-to-day basis sometimes.
And you guys, I mean, amplitude is a factor on the judges' score sheet as well. Was it just me, or was he going higher into and out of that whale tail?
I mean, just everywhere it seems, just gets that extra pop and just using the course to the fullest.
He's got that Swedish efficiency, those smooth landings, something that we were introduced to from riders like Martin Soderstrom and yourself, Anton Thielender. So thanks for taking the time to join us. I'm sure it's probably pretty late out there in Sweden, but we're still watching this run.
Yeah, thanks, Cam.
Yeah, thanks, Anton. We'll catch up with you again in a little bit.
Yeah, it's like 1:15 a.m.
Man, just looking at that run.
1:15 a.m. he says.
Just looking at that run again from Emil is quite amazing, man. It's just like you're saying, the amplitude and using that to create the momentum he needs to go over the jumps. He's doing everything right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, somebody who didn't do everything absolutely as planned was Nicholi Rogatkin, going down on that flat drop flip on the on-off. Good to see him pop up. I'm not sure if we're going to see him for second run. We got our fingers crossed, but we understand if he's feeling a little bit sore. But nevertheless, let's take an opportunity to check out how Nicholi sets up his bike for slopestyle. Very different than Emil's setup. Take a look.
What's up, guys? Nicholi Rogatkin here. We're out here at Crankworx in BC at SilverStar. Here I got my Specialized P3 setup. Classic bike. I've been on the Specialized P3 since I started. What's up, guys? Nicholi Rogatkin here. We're out here at Crankworx in BC at SilverStar. Here I got my Specialized P3 setup. Classic bike. I've been on the Specialized P3 since I started competing in slopestyle. RockShox as well. Usually I run somewhere between 150 and 200 PSI in my fork. Not too specific. Pretty slow rebound for me. I've been running the Pike for ages as well, so as long as the Pike's on there, I'm stoked. XO cranks, strong beasts. I'm on profile hubs this year. I was always running a back profile hub for all these years, but now first time fully on profile hubs. I got the Trixer by Trick stuff here for unlimited quantities of tail whips and bar spins. Of course, Spank bar, stem, and pedals. I've been on Spank as well since my first ever Crankworx back in Les Deux Alpes back in the day. Ergon seat, Ergon grips, tires, just a slopestyle tread. I usually running around 55 PSI in there. So for a good amount of speed, but for not the harshest landings. Oh, brakes, the level, classic level. I like the way the level calipers look. I think they're hype. And they work really well with the Trixer as well. DT Swiss wheels, strong beasts as well. And I'm not the nicest to my bikes in terms of casing, landing sideways, bailing, and they usually beast through. So yep, there's my Specialized P3 setup, and looking forward to doing some huge tricks on it on course.
Nicholi, you are the man. New drinking game. Every time Nicholi says beast, drink.
Oh man, that's gonna be a long night.
He's always so positive, and he's just like, I like these brakes because they look cool, right? Yeah. You know what else looks cool? The slopestyle course. It's insane. This is the title slopestyle at SilverStar Bike Park, presented by CLIF. And we probably wouldn't have a slopestyle course here if it wasn't for this man we're going to bring into the conversation right now, Brett Rheeder. What up, Brett?
Hey, Cam. How's it going?
Hey. Brett, this is insane. I mean, the pandemic era has been kind of challenging, to say the least, with trying to get events up and running. With the restrictions and Whistler not being able to hold a slopestyle event there, you and the crew here have stepped up to the plate. I know you designed this course along with Matt MacDuff, who was leading the charge with the build, but the SilverStar Trail crew really brought the finishing touches. How important was it for you to keep slopestyle in BC, and how much work was it to make this contest course happen?
Yeah, I just felt like there wasn't enough opportunity for people to do slopestyle. And we have a venue here that we made work, and yeah, I'm stoked that it all came together. The guys did such a great job building the course. I was here kind of making sure everything was going good and designing it, but yeah, Matt MacDuff, Marc-Andre Lecat, the whole trail crew, they made it happen. So, I mean, you've done so much in the world of slopestyle. Obviously, you want to see these diamond level competitions at the highest level take place in difficult years, but also how important is it for you to just grow the young talent out here? And is this course going to be able to remain once the snow hits? Will we see a contest on this course in the future, perhaps? Yeah, definitely. Like the reason why we built it was to get people into slopestyle. I felt like there wasn't enough courses for people to compete on. So now this one's here, and it runs really good, and everyone's stoked. We focused a lot of effort on progression, mainly, so that the riders weren't like necessarily concerned about the size of everything. We wanted to make it like a little smaller, a little bit more like what they're used to riding at home, so that when they come here, it's just like they can just do the tricks that they've been practicing.
Well, the mission seems to be working. All the riders have been raving about the course, and you just saw those runs. So good job, Brett. Thanks for all that you've done for the sport of slopestyle, not only as a rider, but now somebody making sure that the embers are burning hot for the future talent as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot, Cam.
Cheers, Brett. So, Alan, we've talked to Brett about building it. We've talked to the riders about riding it. Now, for us as observers, what do you think about this course?
I mean, I think it's a rider's course. Obviously, Brett was talking about how he built it for progression, and you can really see that in the way that the jumps are built. The lips are a bit steeper. The landings are also a bit steeper. So what that's going to do is give you a little bit more hang time without having to travel as far, without going as fast. So it really brings down the risk level a little bit, and that's to focus on progression, as Brett said.
For Crankworx BC, Crankworx has had the fortunate opportunity to partner with Squamish-based apparel brand 7 Mesh. 7 Mesh and Crankworx share a community, local trails, and values. 7 Mesh is a proud supporter of the Indigenous Youth Mountain Bike Program. September 30th, 2021 marked a new national holiday here in Canada, the official day to acknowledge truth and reconciliation. To acknowledge the holiday, 7 Mesh created the following piece about the importance of this new day and their support of the Indigenous Youth Mountain Bike Program.
Riding is about pushing ourselves, about pushing our comfort zone and trying to do new, big, scary things. And sometimes we crash and we fail and we get up and we do it over again. But that's how we become better athletes and more full, complete human beings. And reconciliation is the same thing. We need to face the history of our country and confront the colonial system that's been built up around it. That's what reconciliation is about.
We see ourselves as a caretaker of this land, and that's what we want to be doing. We're not the owners of it, we're the caretakers of it. And the more people understand that, non-First Nations people, the better off we'd be, because we'd be all taking care of it.
I can't begin to understand racism or relate to racism because I never went through that experience, but I can become an ally, and I can become an ally in reconciliation. And really, in a nutshell, what that means for me as a mountain bike rider is creating these friendships.
We need to step up. We need to stand next to Indigenous people in caring for and advocating for the health of this land. We do that, and the land will take care of us.
Well, great work that 7 Mesh is doing with the IYMBP, and we just feel so lucky to be here in this beautiful land, enjoying the terrain. We're enjoying this competition, and we can't wait to see what happens for run number 2 when guys like Eric Fedko, Godziek are trying to knock out the man, Emil. Don't go away.
Prepare your bike. Visualize the track. Keep your blood pumping.
Like a record on rotation, I'll leave you hit. Can't incriminate myself, so let me plead the fifth. I ain't saying wrong, go like I ain't got a lit. Passport stamped up, looks like the travel. Wanna see more in the world than Big Apple. Sad song, funeral nights and street chapel. So we don't give up.
Every mistake is a new opportunity.
Forgive yourself for not being perfect and be awesome.
Keep your grip loose for the wildest rides.
Brandon Semina, Kai Corby, Emil Johansson has won.
The Bike Channel on Red Bull TV. 2 freestyle world champs turn their backs on the racetracks. Martin Söderström and Emil Johansson.
It's just cool to be riding.
Team up to let the good times roll and the good vibes flow. Ride with the Swedes. Now available on Red Bull TV.
Title Slopestyle at SilverStar Bike Park presented by CLIF. We've dropped all 14 athletes for their first of 2 runs. Now we get them all back up to the start of the course to run in reverse order, which means the man with the top score, Emil Johansson, will be dropping last. He'll have this opportunity to get a seat and watch the show like the rest of us, and what a show it has been. Plenty of riders stomping ridiculous runs and a handful of them going down, so we'll see the start list look a little something like this. Tom Eisted kicking things off after crashing on the second trickable feature. Will then go on to Torquato Testa and on from there. But the gloves are off. Literally, Tom Eisted warming up those hands before dropping in. Let's see if we can clean it up.
Yeah, Tom's gonna want to get from the top to the bottom on this one for sure. Let's see what he's got. Big tuck, no-handed backflip, good pump.
Come on.
Big flip whip out.
Got
That's
it.
where he had the mistake. He was a little over-rotated last time, but that was perfect. Big cork.
Here we go.
Big cork 7. Looking really good. Coming into this drop-off.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and he goes for the
boy.
Manuel's out of it a little bit.
Come on. Yes. He
Tom.
gets the 10.
Keep it together, buddy. Big truck up. He's going to have to pedal off.
Here we
Tuck,
go.
no-hander.
Tom Eisted out of Great Britain, a crash in his first run. Here we go. Can he stomp run number 2? Front flip, tuck, no-hander, clean. Way to go.
He's got to be stoked
cool.
with that. All the pressure of being the first guy in the second runs, having that mistake on that first one, but then to lay it all down on the course like that, that feels good, you can tell.
Some bangers in that run as well.
Perfect, but go to the bottom.
Saying hello to the YouTube fans.
So he says not perfect, but got to the bottom. Apparently there's a couple things he would have liked to change from that run or do cleaner, but hey, it looked pretty darn good to me. In run number 1, he had issues with that backflip tail out of the whale tail. You see him right here, stomp it, catch pedals early, clean it up, land straight.
Yeah, you can see he got extra pump coming in on that flip whip, and that got him over.
Watch the axis here. He's thinking cash roll, but there's this like hybrid move you see people doing that's like not a cork sev over the back shoulder. It's not exactly a cash roll, but it's a really cool variation there. And then the front flip, no head slap on that fronty drop.
Yeah, you don't see people front flipping flat drops too often. And then
oh my,
the huge cork.
What do you mean, Tom, not perfect? This looks perfect to me so far. Front cork 1080, they call it the twister. It's a trick you saw Nicholi do, you saw Dawid Godziek do it as well.
And this is where maybe he wanted to clean it up a little bit. He barely had the speed to get up and had to pedal off. Only a tuck no-hander in, but then on this Showtime booter, a huge no-handed front flip. And he comes around perfectly clean, clears the jump, comes straight in exactly the way you want to do it.
I don't even know what he's talking about. How does he even remember coming up a little tiny bit short into the on-off? That run was great if you ask me. So it's definitely going to be an improvement. He crashed in run number 1. So where will it put him in the leaderboard? Judges making sure they give this the time that it deserves.
There's the judges waiting to figure it out, looking at all the ins and outs of each run, seeing where people are landing, making sure they're getting that pop.
All right, it sounds like the score is in for Tom Isted. He's going to beat that 12.66, of course, because he put a top to bottom down. 84, good enough for 5th place. Yeah, he says, I'll take that.
Yeah, a huge step up for Tom. Nice work there, buddy.
I mean, if you think about it, you got to be psyched with that. You just moved Tim Bringer out of 5th place, and Bringer had a ridiculous run. So good job, Tom Isted. Now, Torquato Testa.
Also a rider having a couple of issues. He's going to be looking to step it up.
On the podium to start the 2021 season with a 3rd in Innsbruck. His best result came in the form of a 2nd place, Rotorua 2017. He's looking to get his 3rd Crankworx podium here. Torquato Testa on course.
Drops in, takes those cranks. So intimidating taking cranks at this whale tail.
Oh, come on. Ooh, almost under.
Darn. Just had a little bit under rotated. I don't know how he's going to make this.
So remember run number 1, he did the Kashi bar, so improving on that step up with the double tail whip. He's thinking about points right now for sure.
Yeah, not only did he make it up, he double whipped up that step up somehow.
The amount of time he has to decide what to do when he comes in with not enough speed.
Big truck off, you can see him pumping for everything it's worth. Double backflip.
Yes, barely squeezing it around.
Just coming around.
Straight air up onto the on-off, flat flip off. Now let's see, money boot or Torquato Testa, cast roll, slides out.
Yeah, you can see he missed the pop a little bit off the lip. You could see him there with his arms in the air. That's 2 cash rolls crashed in this event for him, and that's not normal.
Crash roll.
He's not ready for that.
Well, you got to tip the hat for holding it together after, I think it all came back. We're going to see in the replays, but the very first feature, jumping up into the whale tail. It was a little bit, let's see if it was under or over. I think it was a little bit under on the Cork Sev here. We got this thing 16 feet wide, so luckily you can transfer and be all right, but you may not have the speed, so coming up short, flipping out of the whale tail.
And that just kind of brings it into momentum and rhythm. If you start off your run with a mistake, it's really hard to come back and really get your focus, because that's just in your mind. It's not what you wanted, and it's really hard to put that behind you. But you can see he did that here with this double backflip, barely coming around. So committed.
Here's a good angle for that double flip. You see that front tire touching down just a millisecond before the back tire, so just squeezing it out there. To think how hard you have to sprint into that jump to clear it. You need a little bit more speed to flip. Think about how much speed you need to do a double flip. So straight air up, obviously looking for a trick up, but he was able to muster out that flat drop flip and thinking, if I can push through the lip here and get this cash roll, we can salvage some points. Gets the rotation around, but a little bit under. Luckily, if you crash in the way that he did, you're able to kind of slide out on the low side, not get bucked over the top. So I'm sure a little bit of frustration there for the Italian Torquato Testa. Not going to be 2 podiums to start the season, but he's got a smile on his face. We will likely see him in Rotorua to finish off the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship Series for 2021. Well, we're back up to the top right now, and look, we got Lucas Hoopert in the gate, but do you see that on the left side of your screen? Nicholi, not only at the top, you can see him mentally planning for his run. Of course he's at the top of the course. He's Nicholi.
Yeah, all of these competitors that had issues in their first runs, they're definitely going to be motivated to get back up there. I know Nicholi took a big slam. A couple other riders did too, but this is run 2. It's start over here. You got to erase that from your mind and focus.
So Lucas Hoopert, a couple of 7ths in his Crankworx slopestyle career. A crash in run number 1. Let's see if he can put it together here in run number 2.
Yeah, let's see what the 2018 Rookie of the Year's got. Big flip bar spin, plenty of height. Double tail whip out, clears it nicely. I think last time that's where he had his first little mistake.
True. There we go.
Cleans it up. Oh, we haven't seen that yet. It's an obstacle, it's on the course, it counts.
3 in the roller. Lucas Hooper off the flat drop.
Double truck, 360 off the flat drop.
Great, he just had a single truck in run number 1. Here we
Huge
go,
torque.
another clean cork 7.
Downside through whip up. Truck driver off, now he's gonna have to put the power down for the Showtime booter.
All right, Lucas Hooper.
Bar spin front flip, and he just pulls it off. That was close. He came in a little bit back tire heavy.
How did he squeeze that out?
And it almost ripped the bars right out of his hand.
Oh. So Lucas Hooper definitely going to improve on his run 1 score. He was just sitting on a 36 after a crash.
Couldn't.
Yeah, you can see him grabbing his hand there. I think maybe it might have slipped off on that landing. Lucas catching his breath. This is definitely the most physically exhausting tracks that these guys have had to hit.
At least I survived.
All right, let's go back to the replays here. The backflip bar spin to kick off this run into the whale tail. And like you said, Alan, the double whip out is where he slipped a pedal. It was cleaner this time, but he really blew my mind here with this truck to down whip. You hear his leg hit the tire on the way around, but he was able to salvage it a little bit short. But here we go.
Yeah, he spins, bar spin, downside tail whip, just gets it off. You see his feet slip off and then somehow gets a 360 over the roller that was there meant to slow down. Comes in, double truck, drop in. That's gonna score huge. And you see him just putting the power down, ready to lay out this cork 7. Huge amplitude, comes in nose down, perfectly smooth. Downside through whip up, truck off here. And then he's gonna bring it all the way home. Now, this is the one that it looked like maybe his hand slipped off.
There we go. He did not get
he
the bar
didn't
spin
spin
there.
the bars.
I thought so.
He's coming around a little under
Look
rotated.
at the foot. Look at the foot. That foot was off there for the majority of that front flip.
And it's a little back tire heavy, and you can see it tries to rip the bars right out of his hands, but he was able to hold on to it. Certainly not the cleanliness that he's used to, but he'll take it.
So Lucas Hooper waiting for his score here. He's going to improve that 36. It's going to be a 74, slotting him into 10th place.
I survived. That's pretty sick.
That is sick, Lucas. Job well done. So it's been such a great couple weeks here, and you know, you're seeing the slopestyle right now, but there's been so many different disciplines. Slopestyle, actually, come to think of it, is the only discipline that we don't have a women's category in, but the women have been really leading the charge here. It's been fun to watch riders like Casey Brown take to courses like Psychosis. Casey actually won the race. Let's take a look at how Psychosis went through the eyes of Casey Brown.
But feeling like I have a sore tummy, but it's just because I know that Psychosis is here. We just gotta get into it and get through it. All the fingers on the levers.
Yeah, we're definitely high up in the mountains out here, and the track looks nice and steep to start, so I think everyone's rearing to get into it.
Oh yeah, a little pain and a little pleasure. It's like a big warm-up, is just doing it.
You're gonna want to ride
nothing
down,
to ease
Hammer?
you in, just straight into it.
Right, we just picked ourselves up off the floor, coming off the wall. I just couldn't shut it down for this left-hander.
My arms start, like my hands start tingling halfway now. They're completely numb.
What's it gonna be? Casey Brown!
As wild as all the magazines and newspapers tell ya.
There's not quite anything like psychosis. What a crazy race. Times in the 14 to 15 minute range. And of course, if you win a race like that, you got to do a shoey to celebrate. We're right in the middle now of the title slopestyle at SilverStar Bike Park presented by CLIF. The runs may not be 14 or 15 minutes, but they're nonetheless stressful and taxing on the body. One rider who almost put a top to bottom down in run number 1 is this man right here, Alex Alonco, for his final opportunity to stomp that dream run for the day here at stop number 2 of the Crankworx Slopestyle World Tour. Alonco sitting on a 41.33. He's tasted the podium before, that 2019 third place down in New Zealand. So he has what it takes. You see him mentally preparing, running through his run right now before dropping in.
Yeah, and he almost had it in that first run. I think it was the last jump where he had that small mistake there on the front flip bar spin. So let's see if he can put a full run together here in his second chance.
Alex Alonco, the Swedish rider on course.
Sprinting at the first jump, this big 46-foot long whale tail. Big triple truck up.
Here we go.
Oppo 360 out. Front end was a little high, but he made a nice recovery. 360 downside whip.
Come on. Shoot.
Yeah, 360 downside whip just got a little bit away from him there. Wasn't able to regroup. Definitely going to be a little frustrated with this one.
Spinning his opposite direction there on that 3 down whip. You saw him with the front tire a little bit high, you noticed, out of the whale tail on that Oppo 3. Similar thing happened. I feel like it's also a case of not having ideal speed into that step-up jump after casing a little bit coming out of that whale tail. Let's look back.
Yeah, it was looking good right there, and then this is where he comes around a little front end high. When you see his front end smash down like that, he's going to lose speed.
So
comes
Alex,
in. This is where he had a little bit of an issue. Downside whip. It looked like he missed the kick a little bit. It was more of a decade than a down whip. I'm not sure really what happened there.
Look at this. Nicholi Rogatkin up in the start box. That's kind of insane if you remember how his first run went. Off to such a great start. We're gonna watch this whole run right here until it was derailed coming off of the on-off box. Started out really strong into the whale tail here. Come on, cast roll in. When do you see that?
Big, huge cash roll in. Big cork 7 out. Little hang up there, but he made a really, really good recovery. Straight into this front flip bar spin. And really everything was going his way right up until about this point.
And you know what? Up until the 2021 season, flat drop backflips aren't something we normally see Nicholi Rogatkin do. We do see him do twisters a lot, that front cork 1080, stomp just like we'd expect. But this link right here is so incredibly technical. Superman C-grab one-hander doesn't quite get set enough to pop the rotation on that flat drop flip. And I mean, look at how he landed. But like you said, Alan, the amount of padding this guy wears, I mean, if the kids at home can learn something, it's wear your pads. Nicholi Rogatkin back up for run number 2.
Yeah, he's wearing those pads because he's 100% committed every time he's there. And even though he had that trouble in the first run, look at him. He's ready to go.
All right, Nicholi, he's prepped the run in the mind. Now it's time to put it to the course. Nicholi Rogatkin dropping in.
Come on, buddy. Let's see what you got coming into the whale tail. Big, huge cash roll. Perfect again.
Come on.
Big, huge cork
There
seven.
we go. Smoother this time around.
Here we go.
More speed coming into this front flip bar spin.
He's got it dialed. He's feeling it now. The blood's flown. There's no pain. The adrenaline is taking over.
Come on, Nicholi.
360X into the drop in.
Come on, sprint it out. Here we go. Get that front
Big
cork
twister.
Stomped.
This is it. This is where he had the problems before. Superman C-grab one-hander in.
Switching it up to the 360 drop. There we go. Nicholi Rogatkin. One last jump. What's he going to choose? The double tail whip. Nicholi Rogatkin gets one through the line.
Certainly not what Nicholi wanted, but definitely more than respectful for him getting back up there and getting it down. You know, I think he was going to go for that flip drop in again, and it looked like at the very last second he made a change to a 360, and it might have thrown off his concentration, but unbelievable for getting back out there. That first slam was so huge.
So you see Nicholi's reaction as he crosses the finish line. This is the guy who goes 100% every contest run. So we can try to pick out what he wanted to do instead right here, but we got to judge this run for what it is. A cash roll into the whale tail, a cork sev upside down, out, and then clean into this front flip bar spin. And when he was coming into that twister, I was thinking, gosh, that takes absolutely every bit of might you have. And then we think back to, what, an hour ago when he hit the ground? Here is that 1080.
And here's the twister. Lands perfect again. So locked in on those tricks.
Now we were just wondering, the big question was, is he going to try the same thing he crashed on? He still goes for that C-grab one-hander, which has got to score high. That's so tech to go into that on-off box. And then here we go. He goes for the double whip on the final jump right here. We've seen how hard that jump is to clear, so he's pushing through, squeezing out that double whip. And this run was so great, but we saw Nicholi shaking his head there at the bottom. So let's take this opportunity to ask him, Nicholi, first of all, how's your body and how were you able to push through and get back up to the top for that second run?
Oh, Cam, I'm pretty messed up right now. I'm not gonna lie. That flat flip crash got me pretty bad. I guess I just pulled too late and tried to correct it in the wrong way. Slammed so hard, absolutely rocked all my guts. Definitely hit my head pretty hard. I was seeing some crazy blurriness in my right eye for quite a while. Luckily, it went away. I dropped in. The run felt all good. I did that Superman C-grab one-hander onto the top, and I was like, do I do it? It was like a decision on top. I was like, do I do it? And I just felt like I can't mess up again on that. So just spun off and then powering into this last section to get a dubsy on the last jump. But I'm definitely messed up, in pain, but as always, stoked to make it to the bottom.
I mean, I never put anything past you, Nicholi, but even for you, I was surprised to see you up there. And the fact that you were able to pull off that absolutely banger run is ridiculous. Good job. What do you make of this course?
This course is unbelievable. It's very progressive. It allows us riders to really maximize our skills with the riding. We've been pretty unlucky with weather. It's been really wet. It's been slow. You see a lot of us boys giving it all we got with working for it, pedaling, but this course is what we slopestyle riders want. We want to do bangers on every feature. We want to do new tricks at every event. That's the entertainment value that we want to provide with these slopestyle contests because they're insane. So more stuff like this.
Well, I know that you had everybody hooting and hollering at home watching the broadcast right now. We were screaming out, beating on this table right here because I was pulling for you so hard. So thanks for putting on a show. I'm glad you're all right, and we're still waiting on this score coming through. I know that it was hard for you to get up and do that run, and there's maybe things you wanted to do different, but this is probably going to be a high score, so we're about ready to hear what it is. And I think it's coming through right now, Nicholi. There we go, an 84.33, putting you into 5th place. So good job, Nicholi, getting back up there and making it happen, man.
Thank you, Cam. Much appreciated. Stoked to make that happen.
Right on. Nicholi Rogatkin, absolutely the man sitting in 5th place right now. And you think about who he knocked out of that 5th place position and the runs that it took to get there. Even if it's not 100% what Nicholi wanted, it's still going to score so high. So good job. Back to the top right now. Max Fredriksson looking to get back on that podium. A good run one. We're out of our crash runs now. He's just looking to improve an already respectable score.
Starts off with a huge flip whip.
Oh!
Was that a crank break?
That did not
Something
sound
come off?
like
Or he just slip his pedals.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
something broke. And unfortunately, the mechanical is going to take him out of this second run there. Trying to see what it is. Maybe a spindle.
There we go. It looks like, I mean, we're missing a crank arm coming out of that side of the bike.
So yeah, we can see his flip whip here, and he comes up just a hair short with the back tire, and it looks like the spindle on the crank is going to snap off. And that's going to call it for Max, unfortunately.
Well, if we had a crowd here, I'd say this is a great opportunity for a nice little Max Fredriksson souvenir. So disappointment for Max Fredriksson. I mean, barely coming up short, entering that whale tail. Came all the way from Sweden. Luckily, he had a clean first run. I'm sure he wanted to improve. But now all eyes are on Lucas Knopf. We think back to Lucas's run. He had huge combos like that backflip, bar spin to tail up. You see him prepping mentally right there for that trick, which will happen in the middle of the course. Lucas Knopf looking to clean up a 75, move better than 10th place.
Big double tail whip in. Gets a little wobbly between, only manages the truck driver out. So this is going to be a tough one to up his score, but he's definitely going to send it. There's a big cork 7. It's a little short there. It looks like he's okay. Yeah, these riders are taking a tough time out there. I don't know if the course is slowing down or if it's just the the stress of the day and the event and second runs. This is the opportunity to leave it all out there. Going to head back up to the top and see who's next.
Ooh, look at this. Paul Couder, who had that emotional run, kind of, in run number 1 after issues in practice. We saw the big celebration in the Phoenix Corral with his brother. He's back for more, looking to clean up a 78.66 and back up that 6th place result that he used to start the season there. Paul Couder, one of the riders you gotta search on YouTube to see what he gets up to in the off season. Here we go, run number 2 for Paul Couder.
Big flip whip.
Nice.
Nice oppo, one-handed X. Looking good. So he's already stepping it up a little bit on that from that first run. Big 720.
There we go. That'll be nice and complimentary to what he used to finish his first run. Here we go. We got Bro top right here.
Fast plant 360 in. Now that's where he hung up a little bit in the first one. So he's got all the speed now to do whatever he wants. Big double backflip.
Yes, so smooth. Paul Couder's on fire today.
Big truck driver up. Straight flip. Can.
Yes,
another one.
All right, he's up in the ante. He needs a big speed into this final jump to improve that score. Goes for that oppo cork 7 again. Unfortunately going down. Oh, there was this tiny issue after the drop of the on-off box where he had a little bit misstep in the pedals and I think just a little bit less speed than he wanted into that last jump. I know that opposite cork 7 is such a yank, and it would have been so nice to link the reg and the oppo in one run, but look at this. This is what Nicholi Rogatkin's all about, uplifting his competitors.
Yeah, you can tell Paul's feeling it. A couple of crashes in practice had him sore. He was able to up his run in quite a few spots. I thought that was going to be the one, and unfortunately, like you're saying, just came around a little under-rotated on that oppo 7. Here we go with the replay. Started out super strong with this huge flip whip. Now watch how high he lands, gets a huge pump off, and then an oppo 360 one-handed X. And he was only able to get a regular oppo 360 the first round. So that was a one up there. So comes around here and does a 720.
Think about the things that he improved, He said, all right, I'm going to do that regular 7 on that step up. And then, same thing here. But I think we had some improvements stepping into the on-off box. I think it may have been just a straight 3 before, but this double flip was even smoother. Here we go. Up in the ante with that truck driver on. But what I really want you to watch is after this flat drop 150 can, which is an improvement. I think there was, see that? A little bit of a stutter step in that first pedal, and I think that's just the fraction of a kilometer per hour there that he needed to have the snap off the lip for that opposite cork 720. Spinning towards your front foot, so difficult, High Island.
Yeah, you can see his head almost a whole 180 degrees in front of his bike, pulling it around. He does get it straight into the landing. It does clear, but watch his body weight is just a little too much over the handlebars, And that momentum is going to keep his bars going forward, and there's just nowhere to go but over the front.
So close to being able to improve that score there. Paul Couder, strong all the way down, just incrementally upping the ante from run number 1. Unfortunately, throwing it away on the last jump there. But one thing that can be said about Paul Couder is he left it all out on the table there. You love to see after a rider stomps their dream run, they go up and try to improve it. It's a long flight home. You might as well absolutely go for it. That's what Nicholi did. That's what Paul did right there. And we commend him for those efforts.
We saw what he had in the
Definitely
bag.
putting in work today. You can see him walking away a little bit sore.
So, long flight back for Paul Couder, but he will have great memories knowing that he didn't leave anything out on the table. We've all been enjoying our time out here in the beautiful interior of BC. Take a look at how some of these riders spend their off time during Crankworx BC road trip.
Yeah, we've traveled around BC and we've gone from Sun Peaks through to Kicking Horse, and now we're back at SilverStar.
The interior is sweet because there's so much variety. Like, there's like so much and nothing's the same. So I think that's the best part of it. You can definitely send it here. Yeah, this place is rad.
It's crazy. This is like the sickest place on earth so far. It doesn't feel like I've got enough time here. I want to come back and just feel like there's so much to see here.
The interior of BC often gets missed because it's just like not on people's radar. There's so much to ride. It's just got that small town vibe, and there's, I don't know, a lot of good riders come out of the interior. Like, there's so many of the big names like live right down the road from here. I mean, the vibe in the interior is super laid back. We're just a bunch of small towns kind of littered throughout a bunch of little mountain ranges. Such a variety. You can go drive an hour and be in completely different atmosphere and completely different trails.
Just the whole place of Canada, like every venue, the scenery, the locations, it's everything. Every drive to every venue we arrive to is just like eye-opening.
A lot of people, when they come to BC, they just come to the coast, which is really nice as well. But yeah, we got some good spots here.
The interior of BC is such a hotbed for talent, and it's great that we're able to bring the Crankworx Festival vibe on this 3-stop road trip. Right now, we've got a Crankworx staple, a big name in the sport of slopestyle and big mountain freeride. Thomas Genon looking to better a 79. Right now he's sitting in 8th position.
Big double tail up to start it off. Huge tabletop 360. That's what we want to see. That's not one that can be taught. Big cash roll, sticking it with determination.
You see those shoulders and those hips just square up to the way he wanted to be facing when he landed. The bike just follows suit.
Big fast plant 3 off, keeps his momentum straight on the pedals.
Yes, Tommy G, clean 360 bar to whip.
Oh, 360 down whip, lands dead flat, but he gets the pedals in.
How did he hold on? He's carrying great speed right in the middle of the berm there into the final jump. Thomas Genon, front flip tuck no-hander, making it look way too easy. That is ridiculous how precise he was on absolutely all 8 features.
Big fist pump. Definitely earned that one. Super clean, super smooth from top to bottom. Looking so good out there.
Looking pretty good.
Repping for the sponsors.
This guy is such a well-rounded rider. He just stomped 2 runs here, Crankworx BC. He'll be off to Utah for Rampage. Only rider in the field competing down there in the desert. So how about that 360 table?
I mean, that's something you can't learn in a foam pit. You're born with it, you want it, you develop it, and then yeah, that cash roll was just unbelievably stomped.
His bike was like under-rotated, but his body was pointing just confidently where he wanted to end up, and the bike just went, all right, cool, we'll suck it straight.
Yeah, it's like riding a trail, right? If you see the tree, you hit the tree, so he's looking at the landing, making sure he comes around.
360 bar, spin to tail up, top of the landing, feet to the pedals, and then watch this. This was not a 360 down whip. It was like a 270 down whip, but once again, pointing his body where he wanted to end up. That's the kind of stuff you see out of a veteran mountain bike competitor out there, and then finishing things off with the front flip tuck no-hander. We've seen so many issues with front flip variations on this jump, but take a look. Full extension out of those arms all the way across and pointing that bike right to the landing. No tags, no overshoots, just precision.
And you don't actually see the landing until right about there. Boop, the last second, you know you got it.
Yeah, you gotta dig a slow-mo replay from Thomas Genon. Big name in the sport ever since he won Joyride in 2012. He's picked up 3 bronzes, 3 silvers, in addition to that win from 2012. What's the score going to be? He had 2 6th places in the 2020 season. We used to always talk about how consistent this guy is, and he's right back there with those 2 6th places last year. An 8th to start the 2021 season in Austria. And what will it be here in SilverStar for Tommy G?
Yeah, but good thing is that now it's their job. I don't care anymore.
There we go. The score is in an 82. He moves up, improves by 3 points and 1 position on the leaderboard. Thomas Genon knocking Tim Bringer down another notch. And wow, Tim Bringer just continues to get lower and lower. Remember that run? He was sitting in 5th for a long time, and it was such a banger. Now a lot of pressure on this man.
Well, yeah, he's watched his placing go a little bit backwards, but he's got the opportunity to have the last word on those guys that just won up to his first run.
And you know the big man is up for the challenge. He has what it takes to improve that 81. He's now sitting in 8th place. Tim Bringer from France on course for run number 2.
The beginning of his run is one of my favorites. Let's see if he starts it off. Just pedals straight in, right at the whale tail.
Oh,
yes! And a double backflip.
Power move.
Double tail about. Okay, it's on.
It's on is right, Alan. Oh, okay, double truck. He had the quad truck before, but plenty more features here to improve that score.
Brings a straight flip on the big drop, putting in all of the cranks.
Nice again with that backflip double tail whip.
Triple bar spin up. Oh, just gets a little greedy with that 3rd bar spin.
Oh, he was thinking, he was like, all right, those 2 bar spins that I missed on the truck, I'm gonna try to sneak one in here on this step up.
Yeah, you gotta respect the course a little bit there. You only have so much time. But yeah, he was trying to get it all off. I mean, it can't be easy for a competitor, you know, to be watching the other riders bump them back and know, okay, I'm up. But he did one up. He did step up. Look at this huge double backflip no-hander into the whale tail, straight into a double tail whip, clean to pedals, over, right back on the pedals.
He was not phoning in this no-hander as well. He not only were his hands locked out, big extension, he held them off for a while. To think you got to get your hands back on and then finish the first flip and enter into another backflip. 361, 2 bar spins, half the amount of bar spins he got in run number 1. You heard him vocalize a little frustration there.
Such a commitment, flipping off that flat drop. Also another completely blind move.
Especially with such low speed into that drop as well. To be able to generate the pop, and you're not going that fast. But that backflip double whip was super clean. Here's where things went wrong.
Yeah, he just got a little greedy on that 3rd bar spin. His hand wasn't quite ready.
2, come on, come on. Losing the seat pinch a little bit. That's the least air time on any of the features on the course right here, and he's trying to fit in.
No more arms.
If I had to
3
crash
tricks
on an obstacle, that would be the one, though.
Ran out of brake cable.
So Tim Bringer with a strong run in number 1, holding down 8th position with an 81 here. As we work our way through, let's remind you how this competition started. Griffin Paulson, in his rookie Crankworx Slopestyle appearance, just dumped out the bag and set the pace for the entire competition. He is now sitting in 4th place. He's got an opportunity to drop for run number 2, try to improve, work his way up the leaderboard, and if he's able to even move up 1 spot, he'll be getting a podium in his first Crankworx appearance. So a lot of opportunity, also a lot of pressure on the youngster. He's seen riders stomp runs. He's seen riders have mistakes in runs. He's seen mechanicals in runs, and Griffin Paulson's gonna have to put everything aside and just focus on riding his own run here.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, this being his first Crankworx Slopestyle event, being in the top 5 right now, you know, this is all cream on the top. This is a good opportunity for him to get out there, get some extra experience, and see what he can do in this situation.
So Griffin Paulson, already a successful rookie appearance on the Crankworx Slopestyle World Tour. A look of determination on the face as he takes to the course for run number 2.
He's pedaling hard. He's got something in his mind.
Yes! Flip. Yes! Come on now! Yes!
Oh man, it's on. It is so on.
All right, Griffin. Here we go, buddy.
Oh boy.
Whip to bar.
What
Come
are we
on.
witnessing here?
He's improving absolutely every time he catches air.
Needs to take some deep breaths, stay focused.
Here we go, Griffin Paulson off the drop. Going for that front flip again. Perfect.
Let's see what he's got.
Come on, Griffin. Double flip, no-hander, pull it around. Oh, man. No way. Oh.
Look at how stoked he is. The cream on top just almost turned into the main course. What was that?
Jeez. He goes, what, I got to improve something? How about I try to improve everything? Jeez.
If you could bottle what he's feeling right now.
The most normal thing he did in that run was the front flip off the drop, which is crazy to think.
Look at how stoked he is. Canadian out here in front of his home country representing at his first Crankworx Slopestyle event.
I cannot wait to see more of this man right here. He's going to be picking up these points and using them as a catapult to launch his Crankworx World Tour campaign. Yes, Clint, you were right. He's very on it. You know what? You saw that look of determination on his face as he left the start tower.
Let's see this replay.
He had all this on his mind.
Flip whip to bar spin in. That was a one-up for huge. And then comes straight into this double backflip off of the whale tail. I mean, this whale tail is allowing these riders to do things that we just haven't seen on whale tails. Coming into the step up, another one-up. Brings it right in to a 360 double tail to bar spin. Perfection. Look how straight and perfect he lands. And that's the type of stuff that the judges are looking at. He was not only doing the tricks, but doing them to perfection.
I love how most of the people are hanging out here in the middle of the course, and they're just screaming at him as he landed that 3 dub whip to bar, and then screaming at him to get as much speed as possible into this jump. And he wasn't just going for the straight dub flip. He goes for the double flip no-hander. Definitely didn't cheap out on the extension there either.
Let's see him come in. Just a little bit heavy. His weight was a little bit over the bars. He got the rotation, but his center of gravity was just a little bit too much over the fork, so when he landed, that caused him to go over the front.
I'm glad it was just a minor slide out. You know, look at Nicholi.
Oh, man. Everybody's so pumped to see the rookie coming out and stomping those tricks. Look at how stoked he is. He is going to be a fun one to watch. If it was that fun to watch him make a mistake,
yes.
How fun is it going to be to see him pull that run?
No, somebody has definitely made their name known on the Crankworx World Tour. That was Griffin Paulson. Thank you for the show, my man. And now the show is far from over as we've got our Polish rider, Dawid Godziek, up in the start gate, 3rd in the world. This is his ranking coming into today's event. If we take a look back at what happened yesterday, our Crankworx Air DH, because I mean, we're in the middle of slopestyle right now, but we've had so many different events in so many different disciplines so far. Bas van Steenbergen and Via Verbeek have been unstoppable. So this morning in the Air DH, Bas getting tricky there, skipping the lip along the rider's right-hand side in order to stay low, connect to those landings. A little bit of local knowledge put to the test here as Bas van Steenbergen stands on top of the podium alongside George Brannigan and Mick Hanna. Great to see Mick Hanna up there in the 2nd spot. And what is a win if you can't thumb punch your beer? That's the cream on the top.
That is the cream on the top.
That is it right there. So Vi and Bas adding more and more points to their Queen and King Crankworx title chases. Back to slopestyle now. Poland's Dawid Godziek.
We're good.
Been on the podium before. He's looking to do it again. He's got absolutely bronze medal locked up. And if he can move up into 2nd place, it'll be his Highest Crankworx slopestyle finish to date. Looking to clean up this run and add a few bits. Here we go, Dawid Godziek.
Bar spin, double backflip into the whale tail. Big triple whip out. He's already on the podium, so he's not going to hold anything back.
Yeah, come on. Oh!
Big bar spin cash roll attempt. Just coming in a little under-rotated. He was sending it. I mean, already on the podium. He didn't have anything to lose. Looks like his wheel moved there a little bit, so he's not going to be able to finish his run. But really cool to see him out there and be in that opportunity to just send it like that. He knows he's on the podium. What a great event.
You know what we're not seeing very much this event is people not going absolutely 100%. You know, sometimes you see people sticking with their run one scores, but I think what we're seeing here really speaks to the mission statement that Brett Rheeder and Matt MacDuff and the SilverStar Bike Park Trail crew had for building this course right here. It's a course that the riders could really feel comfortable dumping out the bag of tricks on. And the big question now, will Eric Fedko try to better his score? He's sitting on that 91.66. But first, let's take a look back at this run from Dawid Godziek.
Big, huge double bar spin backflip into triple tail whip out. I believe that's the first triple whip we've seen out of the whale tail. Comes in, maybe it was a little short on speed and tried to suck it in. Oh, it was a double bar spin.
Stop it, really?
Was it double bar spin? It was double bar spin cash roll. Man. Like a gunfighter. Like a gunfighter. Yeah, I didn't even see that.
I mean, he landed that cashy bar so clean in run number 1, so that explains why he didn't get it in run number 2, going for the double bar cash roll. So, everybody going 100% here in today's competition. The title Slopestyle SilverStar Bike Park presented by CLIF. 2 to go. Okay, well, they're talking about.
We got a replay here of Fedko's run 1, currently in the silver spot. Let's see what he did to get there. Super clean, super high. Indian Air Superman C-Grab 360 to triple truck driver. And this is where things really started to heat up. 360 bar spin to tail, 2 bar spin. Whenever you're doing 4 tricks in one air, you know it's going to be racking up the points. Takes his time into this flat drop. Gets a clean oppo 3, very smooth. And you can see just really clean with his pedals, straight into this windshield wiper 360, unbelievable. Double bar spin. Truck to X up, not leaving any tricks on the table.
Eric Fedko coming in to sight at the finish.
Big flip bar spin to tail whip, huge, huge run. Has him currently in the silver medal position, but he's got another chance.
So that run, I can't even imagine trying to squeeze anything more into that run. And as we see what's going on right now, Eric Fedko is going to stick with that 91.66 from run number 1. This is going to be a tandem victory lap here for your silver and gold medal winners.
I've never seen a tandem victory lap. This is going to be good.
So this will be one to enjoy from the comfort of your home right now. 2 of the most stylish riders in the game right now. Eric Fedko, your second place finisher today. And the man making it 5 in a row, extending that Crankworx record, Emil Johansson. Absolutely unstoppable since he started winning on this world tour. They're talking to each other in the woods.
Yeah, they're having maybe a little too much fun there, getting a little sketchy. Just making it from top to bottom is no easy task on this course. Big nollie 360 off of that flat drop. Big Superman C-Crab. These guys are out there just doing it for fun. This is soul riding.
It's so fun to watch Emil Johansson do a Superman C-Crab because he has one of the best in the game, but when he's doing a slope run, he's not going to use that trick, but for a victory lap, it's just right. Big knack-knacks to finish things off for Eric Fedko in second place. Emil Johansson making it 5 wins in a row, undefeated since he started winning on this world tour.
I believe that's a Crankworx record right there, 5 in a row.
It's insane to think, too. We've been crunching a lot of numbers, knowing that this guy is shattering records, so we go, well, what are the records? Brandon Semenuk has 12 slopestyle wins in his career. Brett Rheeder has 7 in his career. Now Emil just getting close there with his 5th win.
Look at the height into the whale tail.
And out.
Oh, man.
It's funny, you were noticing on his practice jersey there was dirt on the shoulder. That's not from a crash.
It's not from a crash. From his front tire. He's so twisted up in his bike in the air. The front tire's actually buzzing his shoulder.
Look at this nose press 3 here. It's so fun to watch Emil do things that he wouldn't do in a run. You know, here we go. Savor this Superman C crowd.
And here he comes right here, just having fun, the big old starfish. Off the flat drop, 3 in. And here they come in. The dual victory lap, super fun time to watch. Big neck. It's so fun to see these guys just out there having fun.
Emil, 5th win in a row here. You haven't lost since you started winning. Walk me through the day today. You got up early. I heard you were the first guy on course for practice.
Really? I didn't know that, but probably. It's been pretty tough, pretty rough honest conditions. It's been raining a lot during the training week, so everyone started hitting their last jump actually last night. So it's been like just a lot of riding leading up to the event, so everyone was kind of tired. So super crazy to see the riding level that went down, considering how exhausting just the practice has been. Honestly, I woke up and still haven't figured out half of my run, so it feels good to be at the bottom, done the run I wanted to, and be in one piece.
So 5th win, is it sweeter every time? Is it harder every time? Now that you've won so many times, does it change at all?
It does change. That's I think the beauty in slopestyle is that the difficulty increases by time, and also it's a lot more than just the difficulty of tricks that is involved in a competition. Like here, we have a really slow running course, so everyone needed to deal with that. And it's just a lot of factors that weighs into it. So to be able at any given day to perform is definitely not something you can take for granted.
Well, congratulations. I can't imagine going 5 in a row. Nobody's ever done it before, so we wish you the best of luck all the way down there in New Zealand for the next stop. And we got to thank you for putting on the show for us today, Emil.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Well, we're getting used to that, aren't we? That headset interview with our #1 finisher of the day, Emil Johansson. He's done it 5 times now. And says it changes every time. I'm sure it's no easier every time, but here's a look back at how he did it.
Yeah, it never gets easier, but he's making it look easy. Just look at the height and the amplitude. I mean, the tricks are one thing, but how perfect everything he does is. It's really what allows him to do the things that you know, I felt was the key to this course, is keeping your momentum and being precise, and he was able to do that all day long.
We typically see him bringing something new to every event. I hadn't seen him do the opposite 360 tuck no-hander before. Stomps it clean here. It looked like he was just making decisions all the way down to the last few minutes of practice as well.
Yeah, he was. You know, you and I were watching him in practice, and he was stepping stuff up every run, all the way up until these final contest runs. Big backflip off that. Look at the commitment. He's just so solid.
Then the big question, you go, all right, well, what is he going to choose here? He chose the 360 bar to double downside whip, complementing nicely the opposite 360 double whip that he did earlier up on the course. And like we said before, I was talking to the judges earlier, and they said, oh, it'd be pretty cool to see if he actually goes all directions in his run. Of course he does, with crazy combos. The backflip that he did in the run was the flat drop flip. He had the front flip bar spin. He had the technical 3-whip combos both directions, and it all adds up to a 95 and a 5th win in a row.
And looking at the results, we see Griffin Paulson keeping it in the top 5. Also in the top 5, Nicholi Rogatkin able to come back from that first run slam. Wasn't the run he wanted in run 2, but able to salvage some points and be top 5. That's quite an amazing effort.
Paul Couder stomping that first run that really got all the blood flowing out here, sitting in 9th place. To think that that run is a 9th place run is nuts, first of all, and it just really speaks toward the level we're on. It's so hard to be one of the 14 best slopestyle riders in the world, and so when you are 9th place, it's more like you beat all those other guys, you know, and you got to look at it like that, because Paul Couder's run was mental.
And also the ability of these riders to step up, you know, from one run to run 2, because I think that Paul Couder's run when he came down, I think was maybe 5th place. And so people were able to really step it up and collect, and that is a testament to kind of what we were talking about, this being a rider's course, and the stuff that they're able to do on these features, you know, it was really what made this event happen.
Well, this was the 2nd stop on the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship Series, second of 3. So Emil Johansson not only gets his 5th Slopestyle win, he extends that lead in the overall World Tour. Eric Fedko in second. Nicholi Rogatkin doing what he needs to do to stay in the top 3 in the overall. Tim Bringer in 4th. Torquato Testa in 5th place. But you know what else we haven't even talked about yet is Emil Johansson has the ability to potentially win the Triple Crown if he's able to win again, make it 6 in a row down there in New Zealand. And it's weird, we always offer this Triple Crown, but since the pandemic took place last year, even though he did 4 wins in a row, it wasn't in the midst of a Triple Crown season. So he's got to win Rotorua next month, well, November, to be able to get that Triple Crown. So all eyes will be down there on that Magaza course in November. So Alan and I will hang out here, continue to just break down all the fine details from this magnificent show. Don't go away. Join us for the post show.
My name's Rob Warner. I'm taking the best young athletes on a quest to ride the world's greatest trails and meet the people who live in some of the wildest places on Earth. Never had myself down as a Attenborough type.
Ah, get off! The first sight of the Himalayas. You know, lions take the weakest and slowest rider.
Oh, my word!
Rob Warner's Wild Rides, now available on Red Bull TV.
Anywhere around here you can get a cappuccino?
It was like, sweet, I've done a competition, I'm back. But then life kicks you in the butt again and says, not yet.
After being diagnosed with 2 autoimmune diseases, Emil Johansson is fighting to stay ahead of his illness.
Every stress situation is triggering this virus.
I'm just trying to look forward and hope it stays on the stable side.
Emil, Every Mystery I've Lived, the next chapter, now available on Red Bull TV.
There's a lot of people that ride bikes that don't fully understand the struggle of building something completely awesome.
The art and science of trail building.
The hard work pays off for sure every time.
Through the eyes of rider and builder. Available on Red Bull TV.
Well, no dust out here. Fall conditions at SilverStar Bike Park, but the dust is settling from an absolutely enjoyable Crankworx BC road trip from Sun Peaks to Kicking Horse to here in SilverStar. I mean, we've got a lot of riding in ourselves. We've been able to watch the best riders in the world battle it out for valuable points. And that's it. We're 2/3 of the way through the season. I can't wait to see what Rotorua has in store.
Yeah, a little bittersweet out here right now. We're wrapping it up, so, you know, it was a heck of a tour. We got to see so much of BC and so much of what these parks have to offer. It was such a good time.
Nicholi Rogatkin sending so big out here, and he's a rider who loves a big crowd. Hopefully we're able to get back to big crowds and slopestyle soon. But having the absence of screaming fans did by no means slow this man down.
Definitely not. You know, Nicholi's never going to hold back no matter what, no matter where he is.
So this is run number 1 here. So we're going to have to watch this again, unfortunately.
Yeah, big slam right there for Nicholi. Just missed the pop. And he called himself out there. Maybe he had tried to correct a little bit.
He's a gladiator, so he got back up to the top of the course, and he was improving his run. And you know what? It's got to be hard to dig so deep. Imagine hitting the ground that hard. There's got to be so many things sore that you can't even zero in on one. So you just go, all right, well, we'll deal with this. There's plenty of time between now and Rotorua to deal with all these painful body parts. So let's just try to put together a top to bottom. He did. He salvaged those points. And right here, we heard when we interviewed him, he was still thinking about going for that flat flip and then squeezing out that double whip to finish things off. And I don't know, we just can't stress enough how most humans don't have what it takes to be able to pop up after a crash like that and go up for another run.
Yeah, it was a big slam, you know. It's so mental to be able to recover from something like that. And even in this cold, like being as cold as it is, I feel like it amplifies what a crash will do to you. But so cool to see Nicholi come back and be able to push all the way for another top 5 finish. It's so cool.
So at the end of Crankworx BC right here, we gotta get out our calculators and see what our King of Crankworx overall leaderboard looks like. We know who's gonna be at the top if you've been paying attention for the last 2 weeks. Bas van Steenbergen, 663 points. But Jackson Frew with a couple wins here, one at Sun Peaks DH and one in the slalom here at SilverStar. Collects enough points to be sitting in second place. Joe Breeden in third place. And Sick Mick, it was great to see him on the Air DH podium from earlier today. You know, he had his last World Cup race this year. He's decided he's going to take a step back from racing, but it's been amazing to have him and his energy here and to see that he's collecting those points. I hope he goes down to Rotorua.
Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of joking with him. I was like, oh, yeah, nice retirement plan. Just going to come to Crankworx and collect a few medals, and he just gave me a little bit of a laugh. But yeah, you know, Mick always out here, loves riding his bike. It doesn't matter what the event is. He's here. He's going to be pushing it for sure.
So you saw Bas at the top of the leaderboard there for the King overall. Or, you know, sometimes we call him Via's boyfriend. And Via and Bas have been doing something right in between events. Their training has been paying off. Via Verbeek with a huge lead in the Queen of Crankworx standing, 751 points. Ahead of the closest competitor there, Keolani Hines with 582. But Casey winning Psychosis, grabbing all those points. 574 points going into Rotorua. And if you're a Slopestyle fan and you joined us just for Slopestyle today, what in the world are we talking about? Well, you got to watch. You got to tune in for all the events we have. We got pump tracks, slalom, speed and styles, downhills, air downhills, big races like Psychosis. And we're going to keep the fun rolling down in the Southern Hemisphere. Different time of year right now, which I think is going to be a really good time of year to be in Rotorua, New Zealand. The dates are November 1st through the 7th. Join us online for the broadcast. And if you're tuning in from New Zealand, well, make sure you look out for your favorite riders showing up for the Rotorua event, but also the Summer Series. If you're an amateur racer looking to try your hand at Crankworx disciplines, November 27th through December 12th, 2021, we're going to take the show on the road just like we've done here at Crankworx BC and like we started last summer with the CLIF Crankworx Summer Series. So plenty more to go on the Crankworx World Tour. One more stop. How excited are you? You're going to head down there pretty soon, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm looking really forward to getting down to New Zealand. I don't know about the quarantine, but we're going to get through it. But yeah, getting back to Rotorua is really, you know, it's Crankworx when you think of Rotorua. And getting back there is something that's going to be really cool to see these guys finish off the season and really push everything they got. We know the course that they have there. We know what to expect. We've seen those events. Nicholi's won there. You know, Emil's won there. So it's going to be such a good event.
So big thanks goes out to everybody involved with Crankworx in order to make these events happen in such difficult times. Putting together Crankworx BC, also putting together Crankworx Rotorua coming up as a third stop on the tour, but we could not do it without the huge support and belief from our sponsors, SRAM, Maxxis, CLIF, RockShox, Specialized, Pink Bike, Tidal, GT, Swatch, Pivot, Leatt, 7 Mesh, Camelback, Trailforks, Whistler Brewing, Hey Y'all, and of course our broadcast partner, Red Bull TV. Thank you to everybody who makes this possible. We couldn't do it without you, and we're keeping the mountain bike dream alive in 2021. The World Tour is not over yet. Thanks for joining us out here at Slopestyle and at all the stops in Crankworx BC. It's been a crazy 2-week road trip with 3 stops. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, everybody at Crankworx and Boombox. I've been your host, Cam McCall. Thank you, Alan Cook, for joining up here and sharing your wisdom. We will see you in Rotorua.
At the SilverStar finish